Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is story about what if Naruto is the descendant of Tobirama Senju, and is raised by Danzoo Shimura Part 1. Before I start, please do support for more amazing content and comments for Part 2. Do consider to subscribe my channel and share my video to your friends and check out the description as well. Let's start the video. It was late at night, and the moon shone brightly up in the sky. A lone figure could be seen walking briskly out of the gates of Konohagakure aka Konoha aka the Hidden Leaf Village. A month ago, the first shinobi war ended between the elemental nations, with an armistice treaty. But the damage had already been done. Konoha lost its first two Hokages, and the third Hokage was walking to a specific location deep in the forest surrounding the village. Hiruzen Sarutobi was thinking about the turn of events that led to the situation he was going to handle now. After being appointed as Hokage by the second in the middle of a battle was an experience in its own. The war had ended, causing a serious damage to the village economy. Even after the first had divided the tailed beast among other shinobi villages to promote peace, it generated war because of the hostilities it created. Even after the treaty, Sarutobi feared that the second war will occur soon. So he was planning to do his best so that the village stands strong when that fateful event occurs. Earlier that evening, when he was working on paperwork in his office, the young Hokage was informed by his ANBU that his wife Biwako has called in to discuss something important. He knew what would be the topic of discussion, so he dismissed his ANBU and placed privacy seals around the room once his wife came to the office. Biwako was a medic neen with long brown hair tied in a pony with dark eyes which radiated intelligence and experience beyond her age. It was her skill and wise nature that attracted Sarutobi towards her. "Hey Biwako-chan. How may I help you?" Hiruzen asked, playing dumb. "Hokage-sama, don't play dumb with me. You know why I am visiting you in the office, don't you?" Biwako asked with a professional look. Hiruzen knew he has to drop his act. He knew he has to act serious with his wife, to remain on her safe side. "So is it time already, Biwako-chan?" Hiruzen asked, this time with a serious face. "Hi, Hokage-sama. It is time. I am taking Toka-senpai and Mito-senpai to the Senju cave in the forest. I came to ask for ANBU support. If something goes wrong, I will send a word for you, alright?" Hiruzen nodded and clapped his hands 3 times. 3 ANBU appeared in front of him, bowing. "Dragon, this is an S-rank secret mission. You and your team will secretly lead Biwako-chan, Toka-senpai and Mito-senpai out of the village in half an hour to the secret Senju cave in the forest. Help them however you can. Any loose ends are to be dealt with. If necessary, send one of your men to me." "Dismissed," Hiruzen ordered. They left as quickly as they came, but things don't tend to turn out as easy as they seem. There were some complications and he was asked to come to the cave by the ANBU who visited him late after midnight. After donning his Hokage dress, he quickly left for the cave. Even if he looked alone, there are always 2 ANBU guards tailing after him whether he ordered them or not, some of the quirks of being a Kage. After reaching the cave, he met with Uzumaki Mito, an exceptional kunoichi and jinchuriki of Nine-Tails Fox. She came to Konoha to marry the first Hokage, Hashirama Senju, after an alliance was formed between Konohagakure and Yuzushiogakure. Her prowess in chakra control and Fuinjutsu, sealing techniques, was so great that she sealed the Nine-Tails within herself after her husband subdued it in the battle. Though she couldn't control it, she began to use the ability to sense negative emotions. "Mito-senpai. What seems to be the problem?" asked Hiruzen with a straight face. "The birth was successful, Hokage-sama. The young Minato is a healthy baby boy, but there was a complication during the birth due to which Toka-san doesn't have much time and wants to talk to you," said Mito with a solemn expression. Hiruzen's face frowned as he understood the situation. Toka Senju, like Mito Uzumaki, is a legendary kunoichi due to her skills in genjutsu, illusionary techniques. She was engaged to his teacher, Tobirama Senju, the second Hokage. But their marriage was postponed because of the war. After his sensei, teacher, died in the battle and declared him Hokage, he came to know that Toka was pregnant with his sensei's child. Due to the number of enemies of Senju clan and his sensei, the pregnancy of Toka was kept secret. They both walked to the room where Toka and Biwako were. Biwako was cleaning a golden-haired boy and Toka was lying in the bed with eyes half opened, her usual energy all drained out of her. As they entered, Toka's attention turned to the young Hokage and a small smile crept on her face, unlike her usual stoic expression. "Come here, Hiruzen-san. I don't have much time and much to discuss," Toka called with pale voice as Hiruzen rushed to her and stood by her. "I am happy that I became mother to Tobi-kun's child." Toka spoke as a small tear slid down her eye. "I know that my Minato will be a strong man in the future, but right now he is weak and prone to the enemies my clan made. I have talked to Mito-senpai, and we have come to a conclusion. He will not be told about his clan and his parents till you see fit. Even others in the village and the clan shouldn't know about his birth. Just spread the rumor that Toka passed away along with the child." She sobbed. Hiruzen's heart broke when he heard about her conditions. Biwako came near him and placed the baby in his hands. He looked down on the baby and couldn't help but smile. Unlike his parents, he had bright blue eyes and spiky blonde hair, but had a round face and beautiful smile like his mother. Hiruzen could see a powerful ninja in him in near future. But the fact still hurt that young Minato won't be associated with the world's strongest and most respected clan, whose blood he carries in his body. He was brought out of his thoughts when Toka coughed violently. It seems that my time has come. Hiruzen, just see that my conditions are met, and he is adopted by a caring family. Just promise to do that for me so that I can pass on easily, Toka pleaded. I promise, Toka-senpai. Young Minato will have a nice family. Promised Hiruzen, his cracked voice betraying his stoic face, as ninjas are trained not to show emotions. Thank you? Said Toka with a smile as her eyes closed, passing to the pure world, heaven. Namikaze Minato, age 35, was having best days of his life. The Third Shinobi War ended 6 months ago with Konoha emerging victorious. His village considered him hero as he stopped an invasion by 1,000 IWA shinobi single-handed using his famed Hiraishin no Jutsu, earning him the moniker of Konoha's Yellow Flash. Though he was saddened by the fact that 2 of his students, Uchiha Obito and Noara Rin, died during the war. After he graduated from the academy, he was taken in by Jiraiya, 3rd Hokage's student and one of the 3 legendary Konoha Sannin, who earned his moniker during the Second Shinobi War when he, Tsunade and Orochimaru battled against Hanzo of the Salamander, and survived. For someone from a civilian family, Minato had very large chakra reserves and his chakra control was very refined, a fact that always disturbed Jiraiya. Using that fact, Jiraiya became interested in teaching him the arts of Fuinjutsu, which Minato adopted quickly. Seeing his interest in the lost art of Fuinjutsu, the third also gave Minato some scrolls belonging to Mito Uzumaki, saying that she would want him to have them. Minato had also showed interest in space-time jutsus, and learned many jutsus belonging to the second Hokage, most notably, the Hiraishin no Jutsu. He enjoyed being fast and was known for it. He also developed Rasengan, shape manipulation of chakra at its highest level, after observing the tailed beast ball, and it required no hand seals. All in all, he had a very successful ninja career. Minato was having ramen at Ichiraku's with his wife Namikaze Uzumaki Kushina. She came from Yuzushiobikyo before it was destroyed during the Second Shinobi War. She had special chakra which could transform into chains and could subdue a tailed beast. Before Mito Uzumaki died, she transferred the tailed beast into Kushina, making her the second Jinchuriki of Nine-Tailed Fox. She fell in love with Minato when he rescued her from Kumogakyo, aka Hidden Village of Cloud Shinobis, who wanted to use her special chakra to tame the tailed beasts. Due to her fierce taijutsu, hand-to-hand combat techniques, and Fuinjutsu, she got the nickname Red Hot-Blooded Habanero. As they were discussing about their recent missions and flirting with each other, an ANBU suddenly dropped down and addressed to Minato, Minato-san, the Hokage wants your presence in the council room. The dog-masked ANBU said without emotions. Council room? What do the old dogs want from Minato-kun? Kushina asked seriously. I am not allowed to discuss them with you, Kushina-san. I have just been ordered to bring Minato-san to the council room. Dog said with no emotion. Don't worry, Kushina-chan. I'll go and see what they want, said Minato. He paid the bill to the old man Tucci, and he and Dog ANBU shunshed into the council room. Minato found council room to be very depressing. The place reeked of politics and sugar-coated lies. In the center of the room, there was a large rectangular table. On opposite side of table sat the Fire Daimyo, Fire Country's feudal lord with the kanji of fire behind him on the wall. On his right, sat 4 of his advisors and the ANBU commander, Dragon. On his left, sat 3 Konoha's council elders, Mitokado Hamura, Yudatane Koharu and Shimura Danzoo, aka the Darkness of the Shinobi, the 3rd Hokage, Sarutobi Hiruzen and Jonin commander. All in all, it was the commanding center of Konoha that reeked of sugar-coated lies. Prior to his entrance, there was a heated discussion going on in the council room related to the future of Konoha, who will become the next Hokage. Danzoo had told the council that Hiruzen had turned too soft and weak to continue his job and chose Orochimaru as the next candidate. Hiruzen, though praised the capability of Orochimaru as a genius, denied the candidature due to his sinister and greedy attitude and had placed Namikaze Minato as the next Hokage through the approval of others. They then sent the ANBU to bring Minato to the room. As Minato entered the room and bowed on his knees to the others, he could sense anger and jealousy on Danzoo's face and appraised looks on others. The Hokage stood up and came in front of him. I believe that you will carry on the will of fire that was entrusted to me by the first and the second, and will carry this village towards prosperity. So I want to entrust you with the future of Hidden Leaf and the shinobi world. So do you accept the position of Hokage, Minato? Minato was stunned. His lifelong dream of becoming Hokage was coming true. But he hid his excitement well and replied with a serious tone. I will do my best, Lord Third. What lies ahead is not peaceful. Will you be able to handle it? I won't disappoint you. Lord Third, I know you won't, said Hiruzen with a soft smile. The council, except Danzoo, smiled and clapped at his approval. Hiruzen was happy that his sensei's son will become the 4th Hokage of Konoha. You see, Tobirama Sensei, your son is going to become the leader of village you cherished. You should be proud of him. I think it's time to tell him and the world his real identity, Toka-senpai. Hiruzen clapped his hands once, and Dog Anbu appeared in front of him. Dog, I want you to bring Kushina-san to the council room. There are some secrets that I want to reveal today. the third ordered. Dog nodded and shunned away. The council and Minato was looking at Hiruzen with confused look and murmured to each other. What secret is to be revealed, Saru, thought the elders. Within few minutes Kushina appeared in front of the council with serious face. When Dog and Biu came to her and asked her to come, she was fully prepared to take down the council if something had happened to her Minato-kun. But when she came to the room, Minato was standing in front of the Hokage with a confused look. Apart from Hokage, who was smiling, everybody in the room shared Minato's expression. After quickly bowing to the council, she stood beside Minato and murmured to him, "What is it, Minato-kun? Did something happen?" asked Kushina. "I don't know, Kushina-chan. The Hokage wants to reveal some secret to us," replied Minato. Soon, Kushina also shared the confused look. Hiruzen, though happy, was prepared for the negative outcome of these new revelations. So he took a quick breath and prepared for telling the truth. "Minato, what do you know about the second Hokage, Senju Tobirama?" asked Hiruzen. The council room had a stressful environment now. Minato was taken aback from this question but replied nevertheless. "Hokage-sama, Lord Second was younger brother of Lord First and helped creating this village. He was known for his leadership skills and helped achieving political stability and ensuring Konoha's stability. Though he didn't inherit his brothers would release bloodline limit, he was known for his prowess in water release and was known to create water from air. He was also your sensei along with Hamura-san and Koharu-san. He died during the First Shinobi War while fighting with Kumo's Kinkaku force. Good job, Minato. It seems that your general knowledge about your former leaders is good. Now tell me what you know about Senju Toka," asked Hiruzen. Minato and the others in the room didn't know where this was going, but he wouldn't deny his leader's request. Senju Toka was a highly skilled kunoichi who was known for her prowess in genjutsu. She was a close associate of Lord First and Lord Second. "What is it, Saru? Where are you going with this?" asked Koharu. "The thing I am going to reveal is an S-rank secret which I was told to reveal when the time is right. Because the bare thought of it could reshape the future," said the Hokage in authoritative voice. "Now the elders here know that Tobirama-sensei was engaged with Toka-senpai during the First Shinobi War," continued Hiruzen as he saw the elders nodding their heads positively. "And they also know that the Toka-senpai was pregnant with sensei's child." This earned few gasps from people in the council room apart from the elders. "We also know that the child died along with Toka-senpai during childbirth." "Where are you going with this, Saru?" asked Hamura. "What if I told you that was a lie?" asked Hiruzen, earning loud gasps across the room. Minato and Kushina stood wide-eyed in front of Hokage. "Yes, Minato, what I want to reveal is that you are the son of Tobirama-sensei and Toka-senpai. And the heir of Senju clan." Hiruzen dropped the bomb. "When you were born, Toka-senpai was in critical condition and due to wars and number of enemies they had created during the war. She and Mito-senpai agreed that you won't be told about your Senju lineage till I see fit. And since you are going to become Hokage, I didn't want your lineage kept secret from you." So many things were running from in Minato's mind. He wanted to be angry but realized that the fact it was done for his safety. Being the heir of Senju clan was as big responsibility as being a Hokage. He knew why Senju clan was known to be feared and respected all across the shinobi world. A single Senju can turn the world upside down, and now he thinks about it. He knew winning the war against the Wagakure aka the hidden village of rock single-handedly was a skill he inherited in blood. He knew now why he had big reserves of chakra and refined chakra control. He just couldn't be angry how much he wanted to. "Hokage-sama, can you show me the proof?" asked Minato, keeping a serious, straight face. Now that elders think about it, his face resembled Lord Second's serious face. Hiruzen nodded and went out of the door. Soon, he returned with his wife Biwako and a scroll with a blood seal on it. Hiruzen came to Minato and handed him the scroll. This scroll was written by Mito-senpai and was sealed by her. Only a Senju can open the scroll. "I think it will contain all the information you need. If you further want to confirm it, you can ask my wife here. She helped your mother give birth to you and has all the medical details about you," said Hiruzen. Minato nodded and bit his thumb to draw some blood. He wiped it on the seal and it opened with a click, confirming he was a Senju. He opened it up and read slowly. "Minato-kun, if you are reading this letter then I believe that Hiruzen has thought the time is right. I am suffering from old age, that is why I am writing this to you. You are the son of my brother-in-law Senju Tobirama and my friend Senju Toka. Don't carry ill will to them or the others for not telling you the truth, but know that you are always loved by your parents. After the First Shinobi War, the village was in turmoil and the young Hiruzen was doing his best to control it. A fact like your birth could have easily put your life at risk. The best we could do was hide your identity and give you to a caring family, and we found the Namikaze family to be the best option for you. Now that you know about your lineage, be proud of it. Live your life to its fullest and find someone who you love and care for you. Know that I and your parents always loved you. And I had told Suna-chan about you, so feel free to contact her. We believe in you, Uzumaki Mito." Kushina placed her hand on Minato's shoulder as tears came down his face. He wiped his tears off and looked at the Hokage and gave him the scroll back. The scroll was rotated across the room and a smile came on everyone's face. "Well, what do you know?" Another Senju to gain the title of Hokage Fire Daimyo smiled as he read the letter. Now, do you want to adopt the name Senju or do you want to continue on the name Namikaze? Asked Hiruzen. Minato smirked. I think it's time to let the world know that a Senju has ascended to Hokage title again. For the next 5 years, Senju Minato, aged 40, ruled the people of Konoha well as their fourth Hokage. The paperwork was too much, the council was forceful, but Minato handled everything well, as it was in his blood to rule. People of his village accepted his new identity with full joy and happiness. His new name gave another reason for the rival villages, especially IWA, to tremble at the reputation it created, and he would, at times, take full advantage of it. His rule was liked by all the ninjas and civilians alike. He didn't show favoritism and gave some rights for civil council to handle. He changed the academy curriculum, easing it a bit so that even the civil students may find a chance to become ninjas. He didn't let any clan to dub themselves higher than the other clans and made himself the supreme authority, and ruled wisely. He was declared the strongest Hokage in the history of Konoha. His personal life was also going good, and he didn't let his life as a Hokage ruin his private life. His new relation with Tsunade as a family member was also getting strong. She even came back to Konoha with Shizen after she abandoned her ninja life because of personal problems. They all lived together in the Senju clan compound. They lived like brother-sister rather than uncle-niece because of the age difference, with Tsunade, age 44, being older than Minato. Kushina was even expecting a child with him, which was to be due soon. Midway through her pregnancy, the expecting parents decided to name their unborn son. Tsunade scanned to find the gender of the unborn child, Naruto, after the main character of Jiraiya's first book, The Tale of Utterly Gutsy Ninja. Minato even asked Jiraiya and Tsunade to act as their child's godparents, for which they happily agreed. As the day of the birth approached, Minato started making special arrangements for childbirth at the Senju cave. According to the sealing scrolls of Mido Uzumaki, Minato knew that the seal containing Nine-Tails Fox on Kushina will be at its weakest during childbirth. So on October 10th, when Kushina's water broke, Minato declared emergency in the village with high alert guards all around and made Hiruzen and Jiraiya in charge of the village. Then he, along with Kushina, Tsunade, Biwako, and Shizen, went to the cave using his Hiraishin no Jutsu. The cave was then sealed off for anyone except for the 4 ANBU guarding outside the cave. Ayayawayawa. It really hurts, Databang, screamed Kushina. Tsunade ne. Biwako-san. I have never seen her in so much pain. Is she alright? Said Minato worriedly. Hi. She is fine. Are you watching her seal properly? Asked Tsunade. Ayayawayawa. Minato, do something? Cried Kushina, writhing in the pain of labor. What should I do? Asked Minato. Show some composure. You are the Hokage. Women are strong. They can handle this much pain where men cannot, scolded Biwako. Suddenly, Kushina's seal began to break slowly. Minato tried his level best, but he couldn't stop it from breaking. Kyuubi is so strong. It's trying to break free. Hang in there, Kushina, Naruto, said Minato as he concentrated more on the seal. Outside of the cave, a lone black-cloaked figure chalked the last one of the ANBUs guarding outside. He had a mask on with a single eye hole. He stood there watching the sealed entrance of the cave for a full minute, then walked right through it, like a ghost. Aya! Kushina cried as she pushed once more. You are doing good, Kushina. The head is out. Just one more push, said Tsunade. The Kyuubi in Kushina's seal was breaking the seal with full power. Hurry up, Naruto, shouted Minato as he sweated, forcing the Kyuubi to stay inside the seal. After a whole minute of writhing and screaming, Minato heard a small cry of a baby. Tsunade had quickly cut the umbilical cord and Biwako wrapped the baby in a white blanket. Minato was ecstatic that his son has finally been born. He asked Biwako to let him hold Naruto, but she quickly shooed him away. It's the right of a mother to see her baby first. To which Minato dumbly nodded. First Lady Kushina, let me introduce you to your son Senju Naruto. Kushina took the baby and laid him by her side to see him fully. Blonde, spiky hair and bright blue eyes like his father, round face like her own adorned with 3 whisker-like marks on each side of his face. He is beautiful, Databang, said Kushina as she smiled, looking at her child like he was the most beautiful thing in the world. Now Kushina, give Naruto to me so that I can do some tests on him to make sure he is perfectly fine, asked Biwako, to which Kushina reluctantly nodded and handed Naruto to her. Tsunade came to Minato and hugged him. Congrats, Minato. Now you are a father, and we have another member in our small family. Let's meet up with Jiraiya and Sensei and open up that special sake bottle that you saved for special occasions. Sure, Tsunade ne. Just let me meet up with Kushina-chan. Tsunade nodded as Minato turned to face his wife. Hey Kushina-chan. I want to tell me that I am so happy that we are able to extend our small family with young Naruto-kun. Thank you for bringing him to our lives. This is the best day of my life, said Minato. Little did he knew that the day might be his last. Ah. Thump. Minato, Kushina, Tsunade quickly turned their heads to see what happened. In front of them was a masked man carrying baby Naruto, and choking Shizen and Biwako lying in front of him in her own pool of blood. Naruto! Cried Kushina, as she writhed on her bed. Her strength low due to labor. Tick! 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 Hurry up, Hokage-sama. The clock is ticking, spoke the visitor with a heavy voice and venom in his words. Minato suddenly appeared in front of the visitor, and swiped at him with his kunai. To his surprise, the kunai passed right through him without hitting anything, as if the visitor wasn't even there. But due to this stunt, Naruto passed right through his hands and fell into Minato's hands. Minato turned towards the visitor to see him passing right through Tsunade's attacks and stood near Kushina. The clock is ticking, Hokage-sama. The visitor spoke again in his mirth-filled voice. Suddenly a spiral black port opened and sucked away Kushina and the visitor, closing immediately. Space-time ninjutsu, ninja techniques? But how, thought Minato. He looked down at Naruto to see if he was fine. But something doesn't feel good. What ticking time was he talking about? Suddenly, Minato felt something different under Naruto's blanket. On turning it, he saw that it was filled with explosive seals. Oh shit! Minato wasn't known the fastest ninja ever for nothing. He quickly threw the blanket as far as possible and after tagging Tsunade and Shizen, who had fainted due to sudden pressure around the throat, he teleported to the Horatian kunai he had hung in his room. Tsunade-ne! Minato called out. Please help Shizen out, and after you are done with her, let her stay here with Naruto, and you go out to Sandaime-dano for assistance, he ordered. Not one to oppose the village leader, Tsunade nodded and quickly started helping Shizen with her medical abilities. Minato, in the meantime, got ready for the upcoming battle with the masked ninja to rescue his wife. Deep in the forest, few kilometers away from Konoha, the masked man was seen drawing intricate seal design on the ground. Kushina lay behind him unconscious due to low energy after labor. After finishing with the seal design, the masked visitor picked Kushina up and laid her in the center of the seal. Yes, the time has come again for the Kyuubi to go wild on Konoha. I will make sure they will never forget this night, the masked figure thought as he grinned like a madman behind his mask. He uncovered Kushina's seal on her stomach, and his fingers stated to glow in strange purple glow. He slammed them on the seal and rotated his hand in clockwise direction. Fuinkai, seal, release. Screamed Kushina as the swirls on her seal dissolved into a big black dot. The seal on the ground glowed as the masked man pulled his hand away along with a stream of red chakra out of Kushina's seal. Inside Kushina's mindscape, Kyuubi roared as the chakra chains around it started to loosen up and snap. It wriggled to get free when it felt the tug of someone pulling it out. Outside of the seal, the red chakra started to take shape in the form of a giant red fox. Red eyes, red-orange fur, 9 tails moving absent-mindedly, bloodlust thick in the air. After forming fully, Kyuubi roared and the shockwaves easily destroyed the nearby trees. The strongest of the 9-tailed beasts was a force to be reckoned with. It looked down on the ground to see its unconscious former container, and a masked man looking intently at him. Yes. Konoha will fall today. This day shall be their end, shouted the masked man as his Sharingan started spinning quickly, controlling the beast's mind and senses. As they both were pulled into a black hole of the masked man. As he was busy with the Kyuubi, Minato quickly appeared beside his unconscious wife using the Horatian seal he had placed on her. Seeing the Kyuubi in its full glory, Minato feared the worst. Planning quickly, he picked up his wife and teleported back to his house using Horatian. He saw now awakened Shizen sitting next to sleeping Naruto. Seeing the Hokage with his wife, Shizen ran up to her leader. Hokage-sama? Shizen, take care of Kushina and Naruto for me? And where is Tsunade? Asked Minato. Hokage-sama, Tsunade-sama has gone to Sandaime-sama as you asked. Where are you going? Asked Shizen. Kyuubi has been released. I have to deal with it, said Minato as he left the stunned Shizen with his family. Be careful, Hokage-sama. Minato was standing on his carved head up on Hokage monument. He carefully observed how Kyuubi was summoned by the masked figure inside the village, and how easily it was wreaking the village even after the dire efforts of the third Hokage, Jiraiya, Tsunade and many other top-ranking ninjas of the village. There was huge loss to the village property, but due to Minato's security enforcement, very few people were killed. Suddenly, he felt someone appear behind him out of thin air. It looks like you saved your son from the ticking bomb, Hokage-sama, the masked man snarled. Who are you and why are you doing this? Asked the Hokage as he turned to face the new visitor. Who I am is of little importance. Let's just say I have a score to settle with this damn village. The masked man answered as he flared his Sharingan. That's the Sharingan, Minato thought. How did you do it? You infiltrated the village and outmaneuvered the maximum security I enforced around the village. You even knew the top-secret cave where I took Kushina for Naruto's birth. You also know that fact that the Kyuubi seal is at its weakest during the childbirth and took full benefit of it. Now I can see you are even controlling Kyuubi with that Sharingan of yours. From all this evidence, I can only draw one conclusion. And that is? Asked the masked man. Are you Uchiha Madara? Asked Minato. Ha ha. Maybe I am. Maybe I am not, laughed Madara. How is it possible? You should be dead when the first defeated you so many years ago. Even if you were left alive, you should have died of old age, said Minato. What can I do? Fate had other plans for me. Now hurry up, said the Madara taking out his iron chains. Let's dance. Minato and Madara teleported to the clearing above the Hokage monument. As Minato took out his famed three-pointed Hiraishin kunai, he started analyzing the situation. He is not an ordinary Uchiha. He can control Kyuubi and uses a time-space ninjutsu that is more powerful than Hiraishin. I have to finish him here and free Kyuubi from his control. Otherwise it will be more chaotic. Though Minato, as he took his stance, as I ordered Kyuubi to destroy your village, your people won't have any hope left when they are crushed by Kyuubi, shouted Madara as he rushed towards Minato to attack. Minato swiftly took the chance and went to stab Madara in his chest using his kunai. But to his amazement, his hand passed right through him again. As Madara didn't stop, Minato was caught up by his chains. Thinking quickly, Minato threw his kunai at a distance and teleported himself using his famed Hiraishin no jutsu. That happened again. It feels like his flesh isn't even here. My physical attacks have no effects on him. But how is he able to hold those chains and attack me? Means he quickly materialized himself to attack me. So I can only attack him when he is attacking me. And it all narrows down to speed. Whoever is the fastest wins, thought Minato as he turned and faced Madara. They both charged at each other again. As they neared each other, Minato fired his kunai from one hand at Madara's head and charged his Rasengan in his free hand. As he suspected, the kunai passed straight through his mask. Madara's right hand reached to Minato to attack him. I win! Declared Madara. Quicker than the flash, Minato was behind Madara holding his kunai as he slammed his Rasengan down on his back. Aha! Damn you! Howled Madara as he slammed down hard on the ground under the force of Rasengan. Before jumping back, Minato quickly placed his Hiraishin seal on the back of Madara without his notice. As the dust settled, Madara jumped back to catch his breath. Ha 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 ha. That was quick, Hokage-sama. Ha ha, you surely live up to your reputation. I should not let my guard down now, commented Madara between his breaths. Before Madara could begin anything, Minato was in front of him slamming his hand on his stomach, placing the Kyakufuin contract seal, and freeing the Kyuubi from his control. With this, the Nine Tails is no longer under your control, declared the fourth Hokage. I'll come back again. And I will take over the world, fourth Hokage, said Madara as he ran away using his space-time ninjutsu. Though the Kyuubi was out of Madara's control, that didn't mean it stopped attacking. Now it was attacking Konoha with full power for all the ceiling the village had it under for more than 50 years. Each swing of one of its 9 tails will level down buildings, each swipe of its claws will kill dozens of ninjas, and each roar will scare a dozen more. It looked like the Shinigami, Death God, had himself come down to Konoha to pass judgment. Hiruzen and his students were doing their best in defending the village and organizing the counter-attack at Kyuubi. Seeing their village's former leader boosted the morale a little, but everyone was eagerly waiting for the Senju leader to kick the overgrown beast's ass. Everybody, do your best. Jounins, attack together, ordered the third Hokage. Hi! Everybody shouted as they advanced towards Kyuubi, attacking with everything they had at their disposal. Jutsus, kunai, shurikens, exploding tags. They threw everything at the Kyuubi but couldn't even scratch the skin of the beast. As Kyuubi started charging its tailed beast bomb, panic spread among the ninjas. Oh shit! If that attack lands on the village, we are done for, Jiraiya thought. Every ninja in the vicinity waited for their doom as Kyuubi fired its jutsu towards them. But before the attack reached its target, a yellow flash appeared in front of them, and in a blink of the eye, the beast bomb disappeared as if it wasn't even there in the first place. Soon a blast occurred in deep of the forest few kilometers away. Before anybody could contemplate what happened, an overgrown red toad with a smoking stick in mouth landed on Kyuubi's head. A man with golden hair and white coat could be seen standing at top of the toad. That the fourth Hokage is here to save us. A cheer erupted among the ranks of shinobi as their leader had come to save them. And as quick as they appeared, they disappeared again, but this time along with the Kyuubi. What are you doing, Minato? What are you thinking? Thought Hiruzen and his 2 students as they searched for the fourth Hokage. In the same clearing created by the tailed beast bomb, Minato and Kushina landed along with the Kyuubi not far away. Kushina was holding Naruto in her arms and Minato was catching his breath. Haha, are you alright? I am low at chakra myself, said Minato as he placed Kushina carefully on the ground. Kyuubi saw its container, and its anger doubled. The fox growled and slowly made its way towards the fourth and his family. Without looking back at the fox, Minato consoled his wife. Don't worry. I'll hold him. There are things that I have to protect, he declared as he faced Kyuubi with determined look. Wait, Minato, said Kushina as she gathered her energy. I will do it for you. Kongo Fusa, adamantine sealing chains. Suddenly, a barrage of golden chakra chains shot from Kushina's back and restrained the Nine Tails, creating a barrier around them. It completely pinned the fox down with several spikes at the end of the chains. I will take the Kyuubi with me to my grave. His interference will be delayed till he emerges again, said Kushina as she looked up to see Minato's face, tears in their eyes. Thank you for everything, Minato-kun. Don't say that, Kushina, said Minato as he hugged his wife. You are everything to me. I am useless without you. Don't say that. Our child is born today, Minato. No matter how much we try right now, I can't save myself, cried Kushina. My only regret will be that I won't be able to see my child grow up. Wiping his tears, Minato stood up. He walked up in between Kushina and Kyubi. Kushina, save up your energy. I am going to seal away half of Kyubi's chakra using Shiki Fujin, dead demon-consuming seal. No, Minato. You will die, cried Kushina, as she held Naruto closer to her bosom. It is the only wise decision, Kushina. If Kyubi reemerges after few years with no Jinchuriki to hold him, the balance of power will upset. I can seal the half of its chakra within me forever. And the other half, Minato? What about it? Asked Kushina, fearing the worst. Minato thought about his sensei, Jiraiya's words about the child of prophecy, who will bring peace over this war-ridden world. I am going to seal it inside Naruto using Hack no Fuan Shiki, 8 trigram sealing style, making him a Jinchuriki, declared Minato. Why Minato? Cried Kushina. Because I believe in my son. Today, I came across 2 facts. First, the masked man will be a huge catastrophe to this world, and second, our child will stop him and become the child of prophecy. Answered Minato. I know, you don't want our son to bear such a burden. But let's believe in him, said Minato as he performed hand signs to summon the Shinigami, death god, to perform Shiki Fujin. Why are you sacrificing our son for the village and country? You know what kind of future he will have after the people come to know about him being a Jinchuriki. He might start hating us for such reasons. Countered Kushina, not accepting Minato's decision. To forsake one's country and one's village is same as forsaking one's child. And besides, we are ninjas. We endure and live. Let's believe in him, said Minato as Shinigami's hand passed through Minato to catch Kyubi's chakra. Oh no! Don't tell me you are sealing me again, 4th Hokage, said Kyubi in loud growling. Shinigami ripped Kyubi's yin chakra and pulled it, sealing it inside Minato. Too heavy. My body is going numb. Minato mumbled as a seal formed over his stomach. Though Kyubi shrank in size, it was still big enough to compete with other tailed beasts. The chakra chains around him loosened up as well. Minato walked towards Kushina and slammed his hands on the ground to summon the sealing platform. He took Naruto from her hands and placed him on the ritual altar. I don't want to be sealed again. Nevertheless, in a baby, thought Kyubi as it retracted its claws to attack Naruto. Before the claw could reach to harm Naruto, Minato and Kushina stood in its way and took the attack, piercing through their stomach. Hiruzen, Jiraiya, Tsunade and Fuanbu arrived at that scene. They all tried to reach to the couple but failed due to the barrier erected by Kushina's chains. Minato! Kushina! Screamed Tsunade. The pain and memories of losing a family member came back to her, as she tried to bang her way through the barrier. Jiraiya and Hiruzen held her back and tried to console her. As much as they wanted to reach to them, they knew they cannot do much. Kushina, I am going to place the seal. If you want to say something, now is the time, cried Minato with teary eyes. Kushina nodded and looked at her baby. Eat good and grow strong. Bathe every day and don't stay up late. Make good friends and find someone who loves you with all her heart. Respect your elders and teachers at the academy. You may be good at something and not so good at the other, and that's okay. Be careful about the 3 probations of ninjas. Be wary of Master Jiraiya and Tsunade, Kushina said. After listening to it, the rest couldn't help but chuckle. We are sorry, Naruto. But there will be very painful times ahead for you and we are doing nothing but increasing your problems, said Kushina sadly as tears rolled down her face. But you are our son and we believe in you. Take care of yourself, Sandaime. I am sealing Kyubi inside my son. As my mother had asked for a favor, I am asking for one too. Please don't tell him about his parents before you see the right time. Because of the enemies I created during my lifetime, my son's life could be in danger. He is a hero for protecting this village and should be known as such, said the 4th Hokage, giving his last orders. Tsunade, Jiraiya, you both are my son's godparents. He is the last of Senju and Uzumaki. Take care for him. The 3 only nodded, trying to hold their tears back. We take our leave then, smiled Minato as he looked down at his son and formed some hand signs. I love you, Naruto. Take care. The 3rd Hokage was sitting in his office and was silently cursing all the paperwork that laid in front of him. Office work had been hard for his old heart these past few years. When Minato sacrificed himself and his family for the good of the village 3 years ago, the fire daimyo had reinstated Hiruzen back on the job as the Hokage of Konoha. It wasn't that he didn't like it, but he saw that he should retire and pass on the will of fire to the younger generation. But his own students didn't want to stay in Konoha as it brought back bad memories, especially the Kyubi incident and post-incident outcomes. Flashback. 5 days had passed since Konoha's favorite Hokage passed away, saving the village from the attack of 9-tailed beast, Kyubi. 58 ninjas died and 72 were injured with the destruction of 1/3 of Konoha. Due to emergency state that day, there was no loss of the lives of Konoha civilians, but the economy of Konoha was deeply wounded. Many were left homeless and many businesses were destroyed by the attacks of Kyubi, bringing several Konoha citizens to streets. Mass ceremony was conducted to honor who died, saving the lives of many. Ninjas and civilians alike were wearing black clothes and gathered up in Training Ground 7, where ceremony was to be conducted. Many clan heads and important businessmen were also present for the ceremony. After everybody stood up and held few minutes of silence in the remembrance of martyrs who laid their lives for the better of the village, the third Hokage carrying a small bundle went up the podium to address the gathering. Ladies and gentlemen, I would just like to say a few words, said the Hokage with voice filled with regret. We lost a lot of our young and budding shinobis, ninja, when the Kyuubi attacked 5 days ago. Ninja life is hard, I won't deny it, but we should respect the fact that those ninjas laid their lives for the protection of this village. They laid their lives to set an example so that the newer generation should work hard and try to become strong pillars of support to Konoha and carry on the will of fire. We should be proud of this fact. Our own fourth Hokage and his wife sacrificed themselves in defeating the Kyuubi and sealing it in this little baby so that the village should remain safe. He hoped that this kid should be declared a hero for the burden he carried at such a small age, said the Hokage as he showed the face of the baby to the villagers. But instead of clapping or appreciation, the old Kage could sense the feeling of anger and hatred from the faces of the people gathered, filling the air with silence and tension. Their wounds are still green from the loss of their loved ones, thought the Hokage. After a minute, someone random in the crowd shouted, "Kill the demon kid!" Soon, a barrage of cursing and shouting filled the area. "Kill the fox! My husband died because of him, he shouldn't live! My 10 years of business is nothing but dust because of him. I say we should kill him, he might kill us and our children too. He shouldn't live any longer, the demon will corrupt his mind. Revenge, that did it." The old Hokage had enough of this. He released an impressive amount of killing intent, to shut all the people present at the ceremony, ninjas and civilians alike. "You all should be ashamed of yourself. You are blatantly disrespecting the fourth Hokage's last wish and spitting on his sacrifice. I am ashamed of being a leader of such village. The fourth must be rolling in his grave," said the old Hokage with a scowl. The people around him lowered their heads, but Hiruzen could still sense feelings of revenge in them. He had to stop it before it get out of control. "Because of such behavior, I declare that if anyone ever speaks out or even mention about the Kyuubi Jinchuriki, especially telling about him to the younger generation, they would be charged with treason and would be executed without trial. This is an S-class secret now," declared the Hokage as he made his way out of the crowd and dismissed the gathering. Soon after he left from the ceremony, he made for his office and called in for a council meeting within an hour. He also asked his ANBU to ask Jiraiya and Tsunade to compulsorily attend this meeting. Within an hour, the council room was brimming with clan heads and civilian council members, along with the elders Hamura, Koharu and Danzoo. The third Hokage made his way towards the council room with his 2 students, Jiraiya and Tsunade, walking behind him. Entering the room, he quickly made his way towards the head of the table with Jiraiya and Tsunade sitting right behind him in their special chairs. The clan heads were sitting on the right of Hiruzen and the civilian council members were sitting on the left of council. Hamura and Koharu were sitting on the ends of both sides of the table with Danzoo, who was sitting directly opposite of Hiruzen. The old Hokage also knew that the ANBU commander, Dragon, was silently hiding inside the room. "Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Today's meeting is called to discuss about the future of Uzumaki Naruto. Since we don't know about his parents or any living relatives," said the third. He could see many council members, mostly the civilians, had scowl on their faces. Tsunade was having had time accepting her brother's last wish of not telling anyone about Naruto's lineage. One civilian who couldn't control his anger stood up. "What about him? He is a demon, an SF." Before he could finish the sentence, he was sent crashing down the wall by one of Tsunade's chakra-powered punch, leaving a hole. "My brother named him a hero of this village before he died in front of my eyes. If anybody dare call him a demon, I will rip off their tongues in the most painful way possible," shouted Tsunade to get her point across the room once and for all. Nobody blamed her for using violence in the council room. "Thank you, Tsunade," continued the Hokage. "As I said before, this meeting is called to discuss about the future of Uzumaki Naruto. He is an orphan and being an Uzumaki, Minato decided to make him a Jinchuriki. Now is there anybody or any clan member in the council room who would like to adopt him?" asked Hiruzen. As he looked across the table, the clan heads of Aburame clan, Aburame Shibi, and Inuzuka clan, Inuzuka Tsum raised their hands. Before the Hokage could continue, Uchiha Fugaku, head of Uchiha clan stood up and firmly raised his opinion. "Apologies, Hokage-sama, but I don't think a clan should be allowed to adopt a Jinchuriki as that would shift the balance of power across the clans in the village." Many in the room nodded their heads. The third couldn't even argue with that point as it was valid. "That is right. But I really wanted Naruto to have a good home," countered the third. "Even if he wanted to show his dominance, he cannot force some clan or family to adopt and love Naruto." "Alright, let's have a vote then. How many do you think Uzumaki Naruto shouldn't be adopted by any clan?" asked Koharu. All the members, excluding the Aburame and Inuzuka clan head and the third, raised their hands. Tsunade and Jiraiya could do nothing but clench their fists, as they were not the official members of the council. Tsunade, being the only living member of Senju clan, had lost her official seat in Konoha's council, so the vote has been passed in agreement that Uzumaki Naruto will not be adopted by any clan in the village, declared Hamura. The third could do nothing but lower his head in shame for not fulfilling a promise. With Naruto's family status kept incognito and given the Uzumaki family name, Tsunade couldn't adopt Naruto as she is not officially her godmother. And with Jiraiya mostly outside the village, the council wouldn't allow him to take Naruto outside the village. I am sorry, my friend. I have broken your promise, sighed Hiruzen. Why don't you give me the care of Uzumaki Naruto? I will train him under Konoha root, foundation and train him as one of the best shinobi of Konoha, said Danzoo. Even though he didn't have one arm and an eye, he carried himself with composure and radiated power. The darkness of shinobi was well liked by the civil council members because he acted in village's best interests, even if by doing unsanctioned deeds. No! I will not allow it. He will not be converted into one of your dummies, Danzoo, said Hiruzen, his anger itching to ooze out. He glared at Danzoo but he didn't even flinch. What I am doing is for the betterment of Konoha. You may not like my work but I bring results. I protect the village from its roots so that we are not harmed, replied Danzoo with a firm voice. The third couldn't argue with Danzoo as it was him and Root that did the darkest of missions to secure Konoha. I think Danzoo-san is right. The boy should be under his care so that he could be a beneficial shinobi for Konoha, said Kurama Murakumo, head of Kurama clan. What do you say, Shikaku-san? Asked Hiruzen from his advisor, Nara Shikaku, head of Nara clan. I think that Uzumaki Naruto should not be admitted into Root. He is just a child and needs a normal life, replied Shikaku, much to the happiness of Hiruzen and his students, and dismay of rest of the council. But he wasn't done yet. But I agree with Danzoo-san. Point 2. Continued Shikaku, stunning the third. Let's just say this, Naruto shall live a normal shinobi life. But if he starts using bijus, tailed beast, chakra before he becomes an official Konohagakure shinobi and hurts somebody, he shall immediately be transferred under Danzoo-san root program for a period of 10 years. Concluded Shikaku. Most of the people nodded to the opinion of the Hokage's tactician. It made sense, and even protected the village if necessary. Hiruzen and his students could disagree with such a plan. If Naruto did start using his bijus before becoming a ninja, he would have to be contained nevertheless. Plus, Naruto still had a chance of leading a normal shinobi life. But somewhere in their hearts, they didn't want him near Shimura Danzoo. How many of you agree with Shikaku-san's opinion? Asked Koharu. Everyone except the third raised their hands. The decision was passed unanimously. Flashback over. 3 years have passed since that council meeting and Naruto had been placed in an orphanage as no civil family wanted to adopt him. Not able to stand the decision of the council, Tsunade left Konoha with Shizen in pursuit of other goals and Jiraiya left to continue his spy missions. So, Hiruzen had made a habit to visit Naruto at least once a month. Naruto would call him as Gigi. He spoke with him friendly and would often tell him stories of the orphanage, even if most of them were a bit exaggerated. But Hiruzen knew that most of these stories were fake as he had placed an ANBU around him that noted his daily activities and reported him back. Naruto always looked sickly to him and was a bit shorter than most 3-year-old kids. The ANBU would also tell him that he was alone at the orphanage as nobody wanted to befriend him on matron's orders. Many would bully him, but he will take in each and everything silently. He would be left scratched and sore by the end of the day, but by next morning, all his wounds would heal fully. He knew that he had put a cheerful demeanor to hide his true feelings around other people. But there were some surprises too for the old Hokage. Naruto would easily find the ANBU trailing him every day and somehow tell them how they feel even when the mask hid their facial expressions, much like Uzumaki Mido. The Kage even tried to change the ANBU ninjas, but to his surprise, Naruto could exactly pinpoint them but won't say much. The old Hokage figured it to be one of the traits acquired from the Kyuubi. Naruto was sitting on a swing which hung from a tree outside the orphanage. Today was his 3rd birthday, and nobody came to wish him. The children living along him in the orphanage didn't talk to him much. The matron treated him badly and didn't even give him proper food to eat. He would go out of the orphanage in search of food inside trash bins and cans. The only thing he liked when his Gigi would come to visit him. But for some reason, he too didn't show up today to wish him. Naruto also had a bad feeling in his gut that something bad may happen today, and it would be worse than the usual beatings he got. Also, he couldn't sense the animal-faced people around who usually followed him around but didn't do much. He at least felt a bit safe around them, content with feeling that somebody was always watching over him. But now, he was scared. Ayawa! Help me! Naruto turned his head towards the direction of the scream. It sounded like voice of some kid asking for urgent help. He quickly hopped off the swing and ran towards the source of the noise. As he neared the matron's office, from where he heard the scream, he hid behind the wall near the door and peeped inside the room. He saw a cloaked figure and the matron holding a purple-haired kid, who was trying to break free of the grasp and shouting for help. He recognized the kid. His name was Shin and was a year older than Naruto. He wore a pale yellow shirt together with a pair of dark brown pants. The matron was in her late 40s. She wore black nun dress with white bandana, which had Konoha's symbol on it. The masked man wore a black cloak with a bear-shaped mask. He didn't look like familiar like the other animal-faced people he usually met. He also couldn't sense any emotional feeling from him, either anger nor sadness. He also carried a blade with him which was smaller than he usually saw. Deciding to help Shin, Naruto stepped in the office and called out for the matron. Matron-sama, said Naruto, not forgetting the beatings he got for not using honorifics while addressing her. What are you doing with Shin-san? And who is this masked man? He asked, as politely as possible. The matron cursed seeing Naruto's face. What are you doing here, demon brat? Don't you have anything better to do than poking in others' business? But ma'am, Shin-san is asking for help. I came to check what was wrong with him, replied Naruto, his head lowered. The matron had enough with the demon brat and his questions. She had lost her husband in Kyuubi attack when it attacked the orphanage building, crushing him inside. Today she was going to avenge her husband by killing the demon. She rushed to Naruto and took out a knife to stab Naruto. You are going to die today, demon brat. You hear me? You killed my husband and today I am going to kill you. She called out as she backed up her knife to stab him. Naruto wanted to back away and run out of the office as fast as he can, but fear had completely frozen his body, rendering him unable to move. Stab. Ha. The knife was lodged deep inside Naruto's stomach. The pain was unbearable. He tried to wriggle away but couldn't do it. He felt like falling and quick caught matron's dress around her collar with his right hand. Am I going to die today? As his consciousness was slowly slipping away, he heard a voice deep inside his head. Kill her. What? Who's there? I said kill her. Naruto suddenly felt a sudden flow of energy inside his body. It felt dark, almost devouring him in it. He found himself losing to this dark energy. As matron was laughing loudly on killing the demon herself, she felt a sudden bloodlust and killing intent around her, almost choking her. The clocked figure also turned to see the source of inhuman bloodlust. Shin, who was tired of shouting, collapsed on the floor unconscious. The matron tried to free herself from Naruto's grasp around her collar but failed to do so. When Naruto opened his eyes, she almost felt that she was standing before the gates of hell. Naruto's deep blue eyes were replaced by blood-red ones with slit pupils. His blonde hair became pointier. His whiskers became longer and more defined. She could feel the nails on his hands growing. She felt like a prey to this demon predator. What are you? Leave me, you demon. She cursed as she tried to break free from his grasp. Why? Why do you hate me? Why do everyone hate me? What have I done? Tell me. What have I done? Naruto cried as his voice became more animalistic. I don't deserve it. You deserve it. You need to die. You need to die. Suddenly, many wooden spikes emerged around Naruto's hand, impaling the women all around her upper body, lifting her feet off the ground, killing her immediately. All her blood sprayed on Naruto as her arteries imploded. He removed his hand from her neck as he turned to face the masked man. The man was too stumped to do anything. Before he could think of either fight or flight, Naruto was in front of him, placing a powerful punch in his stomach. He went flying through the office walls and landed right outside the orphanage. You were with Matron-sama, right? You need to die too. Seeing Naruto charging at him, the masked man quickly regained his bearing and used Shunshin to flee from the site to give the report to his leader, Shimura Danzoo. As Naruto couldn't find his next prey, the energy began to leave his body, rendering him unconscious. So he is a Senju, huh? Concluded Danzoo as he listened to the report given to him by his subordinate about the recent occurring with Uzumaki Naruto, or Senju Naruto. That is what I believe, Danzoo-sama, said the same masked subordinate of Danzoo that was at the orphanage. So the legacy of the 4th Hokage and Senju clan lives. And the only Senju after the 1st Hokage to use Mokuton would release. That is a very interesting development, said Danzoo, a smirk on his usual stoic face. Now that he has used the Biju chakra, nobody can stop me from taking him in. He must be trained for the betterment of Konoha, said Danzoo as he clapped his hands twice. 2 more cloaked figures from shadows emerged in front of Danzoo, bowing to him. You have to go to the orphanage and remove any evidence of Naruto using Mokuton. Nobody else should come to know about it. Any loose ends are to be dealt with immediately, ordered Danzoo, as his subordinates nodded and Shunshin away. He will become my weapon and help me become the leader of the village and soon the entire elemental continent, as I always wanted, thought Danzoo as he slowly disappeared in the darkness. 3 days later, Naruto slowly woke up to the pungent smell of chemicals and disinfectants. He opened his eyes groggily and welcomed by the sight of pure white roof. Not knowing where he was, he tried to turn but sudden pain shot in his chest. Aya! Cried Naruto. Don't move, Naruto. You are hurt. A familiar sound called out to him. Naruto slowly turned his neck to find the 3rd Hokage sitting next to his bed, looking intently at him. Gigi, where am I? Asked Naruto, his throat parched. The old Kage passed a glass of water to Naruto to drink. You are in the hospital, Naruto. You were hurt badly, so you had to be brought here, answered Hiruzen. Say, do you remember what happened in the orphanage? Asked the Hokage. I don't remember much. There was somebody with the matron-sama's room, and they were doing something to Shin-san. I asked them what are they doing, but instead of telling me, she took out a knife and stabbed me, cried Naruto, remembering the scene. Hiruzen lowered his head in shame, blaming himself of his surrogate grandson's such condition. After that I heard a voice in my head, telling me about killing her. I don't know what happened after that. Do you know anything, Gigi? Asked Naruto. So he did use the Biju chakra. Shit, Danzoo was right about it. I cannot stop him from taking Naruto now. At least I can take away the burden of killing somebody from Naruto. He is too young for it. Tsunade and Jiraiya will kill me now, thought Hiruzen, as he cursed himself again and again inside his head. Yes, Naruto. I have put the matron in jail for putting your life at risk. Also, I have found someone else to take care of you. Before Hiruzen could finish, the door of the room opened, interrupting him. Naruto saw a man as old as Gigi, with his right arm and face bandaged, walking inside using a stick. Naruto could sense pride, experience and darkness in him, scaring him a bit. Hello, Naruto. I am Shimura Danzoo and I will be your new caretaker. 10 years after the orphanage incident. At Rebel Camp, Kiri's Civil War. It had been 2 hours since his arrival at the camp. But patience is a virtue and he was quite good at waiting. The guard at the gate was looking at him quizzically. He was wearing standard Kirigakure shinobi suit. Based on his green flank jacket, he was probably a chunin. The constant war had sharpened his shinobi senses, but a bit of curiosity still reflected in guard's eyes. According to the mission statement, Kirigakure had been under constant war since the 4th Mizukage came to rule. Corruption became a plague. It had bled its resources and the superior had become power-hungry. When the 4th Mizukage, Yagura, came to power 5 years ago, he suddenly declared war on all the bloodline users for unknown reasons. The hidden village of Mist was chaotic. Many bloodline users lost their lives. Soon after, the bloodline users formed the rebel army to oppose the Mizukage's actions and end this war. But it had been too long and damage too severe. His orders were simple: go to Kiri, stop the war, form alliance between Konoha and Kiri. And Naruto aka Tendu was going to do just that. Same time, Konohagakure, smoking pipe in mouth, Hiruzen Sarutobi was silently admiring the village through his office window. It had been around 13 years since his successor died, and he reclaimed the post of Hokage. One could easily see his age creeping up on his old bones, but his knowledge, experience, and power were still second to none. The door of his office opened and a figure walked in, tap of wooden stick on floor distinctively audible as the figure moved towards the chair across the table. There was a tense silence before the Hokage sighed and turned to face his friend and rival, Shimura Danzoo. Old age is creeping on us, Danzoo, said Hiruzen. Indeed. But it has also made us wiser, Hiruzen, nodded Danzoo. That's true. I want to pass on the baton to the younger generation now. As I remember, you already did that once. And it was handed back to you. Those who are strong enough don't want to return to the village now, and I don't want our village position to deteriorate, retorted Danzoo. Hiruzen sighed. He knew that his friend was talking about his 3 students. One turned out to be a traitor, second left due to loss of family, and third left due to the loss of his student, the 4th Hokage. Silence hung heavy in the room. Before it stretched out, Hiruzen spoke up. How is he? Who? Naruto? Asked Danzoo. Yes, Naruto. If you remember, his 10th year with you is about to end. It is about time he joins my command. Danzoo could sense a bit of anxiety in his rival's hardened voice and decided to take out the main guns. When were you going to tell me that he is a Senju and Yandame's son? Asked Danzoo abruptly. Hiruzen's face lost its color for a moment before he regained his senses and glared at Danzoo. Who told you about it? Danzoo almost laughed. Seriously, Hiruzen. You think you can hide things like these from me? For your information, nobody told me. His skills and blood speaks for himself. What do you mean? Asked the Hokage, keeping his glare leveled. Actually, he is the best I have, said Danzoo. What? He is only 13. You know better, Hiruzen. That age doesn't matter in respect of skills. You looked at Uchiha Itachi. He was a chunin by 10. And an ANBU captain by 13. And Kakashi, he was chunin at 6 after graduating at 5. Danzoo continued shaking his head. I have never seen a prodigy of this level before, Hiruzen. A leader, natural in shinobi arts and a superb censor. He absorbs everything like a sponge. Hiruzen was stunned, but he wanted to know more, so he kept his straight face. Break down his prowess and skills to me, Danzoo. I want to know where he stands. His personality matches Tobirama Sensei. A quick and pragmatic thinker. His chakra is as dense as the 1st Hokage. An all-round fighter. His strength lies in his stamina, ninjutsu, kenjutsu, has moderate skills in taijutsu. He has advanced chakra control and shows keen interest in fuinjutsu. He can give you a run for your money. That's quite a healthy repertoire at such a young age. What about nature affinities? Asked Hiruzen. Danzoo thought about it before replying. He has 3 natural affinities. Very high Doton, earth, and Suiton, water, and low Futon, wind, affinity. Hiruzen was stumped but controlled his emotions. That was too much for a young boy. Explain very high, Danzoo. His mastery in earth manipulation is similar to that of Sensei's water manipulation. He can perform various A-level Doton techniques using just a single hand seal and can form rock-solid walls while standing on a deep water source. Last year, he even started extracting metals from deep down using earth manipulation. Danzoo could easily see emotions running on Sarutobi's straight face and couldn't help but smirk inside. This is nothing. Best of all, he is a natural Mokuton, would release user. He is a perfect Senju of the forest, exclaimed Danzoo. The Hokage was literally perplexed now, and Danzoo was enjoying every moment of it. It was always implied that the Mokuton release was just a genetic trait which was lost along with the first Hokage, Senju Hashirama. But a second Mokuton user just disapproved the hypothesis. Why the hell didn't you tell me that before? Asked the Hokage. Because I didn't want the world to know that we have a natural Mokuton user in our forces. He would have become a target of many. I have ordered him not to use it anywhere unless the situation demands it. Hiruzen settled down a bit after hearing that. Everyone wants the power to control Biju, tailed beasts. Though he wanted to know that fact beforehand, he agreed with Danzo's thinking. Before Hokage could speak, Danzo again spoke up. But there is a problem. Root isn't a good place for social interactions. Even though I didn't put him through any emotional or social conditioning, he isn't very social. Hiruzen knew about the mental conditioning practiced in Root. Though he was very much against it, he couldn't help but agree that some missions require such conditioning. He is okay with teamwork during a mission. But he doesn't socialize well outside the mission, so if you are planning to put him in team, and don't even think about making him genin, you have to be careful. Concluded Danzo. I will think about that. So where is he now? Asked Hiruzen, scratching his beard. I had sent him to Fire Daimyo 2 years ago, after your son Asuma came back. He is one of the Shugenin Junichi, 12 Guardian Ninja, the youngest ever. His contract will be ending this year before the academy graduation in 2 months. Answered Danzo, as he internally cherished the reaction on his rival's gaping face. He got up and turned to walk out of the door. I'll send him to you when he returns. He is strong, Hiruzen, and capable enough to defend himself and the village. He is like a son I never had. Don't deny him his birthright when he returns. Said Danzo as he walked out of the office. Terumi Mei, the leader of the rebels and her second-in-command, Ao, were sitting in the command center at the main rebel camp. Mei was a beautiful woman in her 30s. With her green eyes, long auburn hair and blue dress showing a bit of her bust, she easily enticed men's hearts, whereas Ao had a stern look to complement with moosed-up blue hair and patch-covered right eye. They were discussing some future strategies when a Chunin bust through the door. What is it, Chunin? Why didn't you ask for the permission to enter first? Chided Ao with stern look on his visible blue left eye. I apologize, Ao-sama. But I have an important news that you and Mei-sama would want to hear. An emissary from Konoha is here at the gates, said the Chunin as he kept his eyes on the floor. The news straightened up the commanders in the room. They had earlier received the news from the Water Daimyo, who was secretly helping the rebels to gain victory over Yagura's tyranny on Kirigakure, about his request to his friend, the Fire Daimyo, to help the rebels to gain an edge in the war. Though it was a blow to the pride of Kiri shinobis for asking help from outside to sort out their homeland conflicts, but with the war stuck in a stalemate, any help was welcome. How many have come? Asked Mei. Only one, Mei-sama. One? Inquired Mei. Both she and Ao were in deep thought why there was only one person from Konoha to help. He might be just a messenger. They both concluded. Yes, Mei-sama. Should I send him in? Asked the Chunin messenger. Hi. Send him in. The messenger quickly bowed and left to fetch the guest from Konoha. Soon after, a young cloaked figure walked in the command tent, tailed by 2 Kiri Chunin. He was around 5 feet tall, wore a plain black face mask over the nose and lower half of the face. He had sparkling blue slit eyes, a mop of long spiky blonde hair tied up in a small ponytail on the back of his head. He wore a grayish cloak on top, black ANBU pants and steel-toe boots. Despite of a young figure, he looked like a dignified and experienced ninja. Welcome to Water Country, Konoha Shinobi. I am Terumi Mei, commander of Rebel Army. May I ask you the reason for your visit? Asked Mei. The figure bowed his head a bit before speaking in a deep and clear tone. Greetings, Mei-sama. I have come here on the request of Fire Daimyo to help your army gain a win over the 4th Mizukige's forces and end the war. I am grateful for Fire Country's help in stopping this needless war. May I ask where your team is, or are you just a messenger? Said Mei. I am the only one here to help you from Fire Country. I am also acting as a messenger between you and the Fire Daimyo. Said the figure with no emotion in its voice. They send us a kid to stop a war. A single kid. Damn Konoha and Fire Country. How dare they do this, thought the livid Kiri rebels. The Chunin guards and Ao quickly went for their kunai pouches as the figure's right hand went inside his cloak to take out a scroll. He extended the scroll towards Mei before Ao got hold of it. He laid it on the table and saw a storage seal on it. He slammed his right hand on it and channeled the chakra, and a smaller scroll with Fire Country symbol poofed out of it. Ao tried to open it but saw a blood seal on it. Let me help you, Ao-san, said the figure, extending his right hand. A shocked look was clearly visible on Ao's face. How do you know my name, Gaki? Asked Ao. When I was sitting near the gates, the guards kept talking and giggling to themselves about someone called Mei and Ao. Though I couldn't hear them, I am good at reading lips, replied the cloaked figure, unnerved by the Gaki comment. The Chunin guards' faces were red with fear and shame. And what were they talking about? Asked Mei, eyeing the guards behind. Most of them were about the sexual interactions between you two, replied the masked boy, his voice emotionless as ever, without a glint of snickering, as if he was just stating a fact. The Chunin guards just wanted to squeeze his throat to death, but they could see their deaths in Ao's eyes. Mei just stood there silently for few before she started laughing. That was good. I needed that, she thought. You two have some explaining to do after we are done with this, Chunins, ordered Ao, his teeth clenched hard, as handed the blood scroll back to Naruto. Naruto bit his thumb a bit and let the trickle of blood flow on the seal. It glowed a bit before the scroll opened with a click. That was a blood seal I designed using my blood. It was to make sure that the scroll doesn't fall in the wrong hands, explained Naruto, as he handed the scroll back to Ao. He didn't read it as it was his commander's job and handed it further down to Mei. She opened the scroll and quickly read through the details. Closing her eyes, she weighed down the pros and cons of the agreement given in the scroll. She opened her eyes, which had a glint of acceptance, and handed the scroll to Ao for him to go in the details and give any possible suggestions. He looked at Mei and gave her a slight nod, adding his acceptance. Before we accept this offer, Mei spoke. What is your name, and please remove your mask. I want to see who I am working with. I cannot share my real name with you, but you can call me Tendu, replied Tendu. The rebel commander looked into those blue eyes before replying. It's all right, Tendu. Now please remove your mask. The messenger nodded and removed his black mask. Beneath it, the Kiri rebel leader saw a face of a kid hardened with the course of time. Round face with no baby fat along with mystifying deep blue eyes with slit-like pupils betrayed no emotions, and it unnerved them a bit. But the most prominent feature was 3 whiskers on his cheeks. Mei thought they looked cute, but Ao saw a beast ready to kill without a moment of hesitation. Signing the message scroll, Mei spoke up. Tendu, we agree with the terms and conditions given by the Fire Daimyo and won't publicly name Konoha or Fire Country as our ally, till we have our victory over Yagura's army. Though we had thought of getting teams from Konoha instead of only one man, if you can prove yourself worthy in the oncoming days, I will happy to pay you an S-rank mission pay. You will be working directly under Ao's command and take orders from him. Show us what a Konoha shinobi is capable of. Hi! You won't be disappointed, saluted Tendu. A month has passed since the help from Konoha arrived, and Kiri rebels have never been happier. Except for commanders and the 2 Chunin guards who swore to secrecy, nobody knew the help from Konoha arrived. Tendu was given Kiri shinobi clothes to mix up better and to avoid doubts. Plus, he was given an ANBU mask to avoid unnecessary questions from other shinobi in camps. Team Ao, led by Ao and consisted of Chojuro, wielder of Hiramakerii, one of the famous 7 swords of the mist, Hozuki Tenjutsu, and an ANBU called Tendu, had become quite popular within a month across the water country. Every mission or raid they conducted, they came back successfully completing them and bringing the rebels closer to their victory. Mei was extremely happy today. In Team Ao's last raid at one of Yagura's army camp, they came across the intel that Mizukage along with his 50-strong Jounin-level shinobi is going to cross water country's border to meet up with Reikage and discuss a possible alliance to help them with the rebels. This was a chance to end the war once and for all. Yagura had closed himself within the walls of the village, was finally coming out, and this was a perfect opportunity to take him down. The help from Konoha was more beneficial than she thought. Tendu was a hero in her eyes, a perfect shinobi, even though his individual achievements were never publicly announced, and were often declared as team effort. Any type of mission, whether it be a raid, intel gathering, assassination, interrogation, he could do anything. Give him mission details and forget about it because he would accomplish it within the provided time limit. But he also scared her. She had passed through the Kiri's bloody academy system and killed her friends at the age of 9. Even then Tendu scared her. She and Ao often wondered what kind of hellish training he underwent to become a perfect shinobi. In a mission, he would properly interact with everybody, give help and tips in Kenjutsu and water element to Chojuro and Tenjutsu, discuss his plans with Ao, and even report properly to Mei. But as soon as the mission gets over, he's gone. Not even her best trackers could track her. He had just given seals to her and Ao. He would appear in front of them within 5 seconds after they channeled their chakra in them. He was an unsolved mystery which got complicated every passing day. Pushing those thoughts aside, she entered the command center to discuss plans to ambush and kill Yagura. Inside, she saw her 3 lieutenants, Ao, Kurasuke Raiga and Akabino Jinin, waiting for her. Raiga was the member of the 7 swordsmen of Mist along with Jinin, and wielded the thunder sword Kiba. Jinin was the member of both old and new generation of 7 swordsmen, and wielded the blunt sword Kabudawari. Ao, please summon Tendu. His presence and advice is necessary today, said Mei, as she took her seat at the head of the table. Everybody saw Ao taking out a paper seal and channeling chakra to it, and in no more than 5 seconds, there was a loud knock on the door. Come in, ordered Mei. The door opened and a masked boy walked in through the door. He made a formal salute to everyone in the room and silently stood behind Ao. Nobody except 2 knew the real info about Tendu, and it was about to become a major issue in the upcoming meeting. Masama, may I ask why a member of Ao's personal team allowed to attend one of our meetings? Asked Raiga. Mei looked at Tendu, who didn't look affected a bit by the question, his expression hidden behind his black mask, A/N. Tendu only wore ANBU mask during missions, and his eyes devoid of any emotion. She then looked at Ao, who slightly nodded. It is an S-class secret that I am going to tell you today. Tendu here is not from Kiri. He came from Konoha to assist us in the war a month ago. Mei stopped to check the expression on her lieutenants' faces, which was a bit of astonishment but no anger. Satisfied, she continued, the water daimyo had requested his friend, the fire daimyo, and asked for help to end the war. So he sent Tenda here to assist us. Worry not, he didn't send a single ninja to make fun of us, but he believed in his abilities. I believe in his abilities. You know about the achievements of Ao's team recently, and now know that Tenda's contribution was a major part of it. He even found the genuine intel about Yagura's possible treaty with Kumo. Now I want this secret to remain a secret, and not spread among our faction like a wildfire after this meeting. As the part of the contract, we are not allowed to connect Konoha with the war till it ends. She concluded, adding a bit of killing intent to get her point across. Raiga and Jinin, who were kept in the dark till now, had their own doubts about Tenda even before the meeting. Being the part of 7 swordsmen of Kiri, who were the strongest among Kiri shinobi, they often had the knowledge about who was strong in Kiri, and Tenda stood out of the rest because of his sudden presence and increasing success rate of missions and raids. Recently, they hadn't heard of a Kiri NBU being so strong who was just a kid. But that was a question on every Kiri rebel commander's mind. After getting a quick nod from Raiga, swallowing his pride for asking help from outside, Jinin spoke up, Tenda-san, we appreciate your and your country's help on the noble cause of protecting who aren't guilty. You have our heartfelt thanks for that. I hope the relations between our two countries become stronger after the war. You are welcome, Jinin-san, Raiga-san, replied Tendu, with a bit of appreciation in his voice. Now with that aside, I would like to proceed with the meeting. Mei spoke up, getting everybody's attention. Now according to the intel found by Ao's team 3 days ago, Yagura with a team of 50 Jounins is going to cross the borders near mangrove forests at the Kiso River Basin in 10 days, that is 7 days from now, to reach Kumo and discuss an alliance. And we cannot allow that to happen. So do you guys have any possible plans for ambush? Asked Mei. As Mei's lieutenants were contemplating the intel, Tendu raised his hands. According to Ao, Tendu's plans had very high success rate. He thought quickly, he acted accordingly, and if something goes wrong, his re-evaluated plans were quite swift and successful too. Wearing a little cheerful smile, Mei spoke up, yes Tendu, do you have something in your mind? Hi Mei-sama. I think that Yagura's team will mostly consist of Jounins that are skilled in guerrilla warfare, silent killing and capable of fighting underwater. And the fact that they are planning to do it at midnight further proves my assumptions. There will be good amount of water to perform and sustain Kirigakyu no Jutsu, hiding in the mist technique. And with porous roots of the mangrove and rising water level at night, it will be easier for them to hide and attack if we ambush from the open. Plus, even though it was recorded 50 ninjas, I think we should assume more and take better backup. Damn Tendu! You sure know what you are doing, don't you? Raiga said. It is because of better tactical warfare done by Konoha shinobi that it has never been successfully seized all these years, said Ao. I agree with Tenda's assumptions. Yagura is intelligent, and would have already thought about us ambushing him. We have around 800 shinobi in our lines, out of which 150 are Jounins. I say we should take 100 shinobi in front lines including 50 Jounins and 50 Chunins, and 100 shinobi as a backup including 25 Jounins and 75 Chunin and Irionin, Medicnine. What about Yagura? Who will fight him? Asked Raiga, excited about getting his hands on Yagura. Jinin, you will lead the backup forces. Ao and Raiga can handle the frontal attacks. And I will fight Yagura, concluded Mei. But Mei-sama, you cannot be serious. Yagura is a Jinchuriki and it won't be easy to stop him once he starts using his Biju chakra. We would be fighting him on his domain, A/N, water, and it could easily destroy our plans. We might even lose you, reasoned Ao. I am a ninja first, Ao. And ninjas die on the field. It's occupational hazard. And it would be an honor. Believe in me, said Mei, confidence and strength brimming in her voice. But before she could continue her speech, Tendu raised his hand again. Yes Tendu, you have something to add? Asked Mei, clearly not glad about someone interrupting her patriotic leader speech. Hi Mei-sama, said Tendu, taking out a paper seal which had a complicated seal drawn on it. This is a chakra-suppressing seal I was working on after my mission. What it does is it can suppress Biju's chakra in the system when applied on Jinchuriki's forehead when they draw its power, thus leaving them fatigued. All you have to do is before it reaches its full form, stick it to their forehead, he said, handing out one paper seal to each commander. There was complete silence in room before Mei stood up, walked closer to Tendu, and hugged him. He tensed a bit but slowly eased up with Mei's ministrations on his back. Thank you, Tendu. Thank you very much. You don't know how easy you made things now. You came like blessing on this cursed land. And I cannot thank you enough, said Mei, slowly backing up, adorning a small, genuine smile. You are welcome, Mei-sama. I am happy to help. His face was still straight as ever but his voice had a hint of appreciation in it. 7 days later. At Kiso River Basin. So you came out, Mei? Said Yagura, the fourth Mizukage. I knew you would come out. I purposely asked my men to leave such intel at our camp. I can't believe you took it. Now I have a chance to end the rebels and bloodlines once and for all, he said, taking out his hooked staff. The assumptions laid by Tendu were almost true. As expected, Yugura had planned it all along and brought out a unit of 100 Jounins with him instead of 50. They were planning on ambushing rebels, expecting them to be in lower number but were sandwiched by the frontal attacks and backup attacks of the rebels. The guards of Mizukage were having a hard time defending the Mizukage against Raiga's brutal attacks and left him open to Mei and Ao's team. They saw that despite being an adult, Yugura rather had a childlike experience. He had pink pupilless eyes and a long stick running down his left cheek. Ao, you and your team will stay behind, back me up. I will take him on. Mei said as she formed the hand signs. Suitun, Suidan no Jutsu, water release, water bullet technique. She expelled a large torrent of water towards Yugura, hitting him right at the chest, but he exploded in form of water using a Mizu Bunshin, water clone. Mei looked around to see her opponent but couldn't find him. She suddenly sensed chakra being molded above her. She tried to move out of the way of the attack but was a bit late. Suitun, Mizurapa, water release, water trumpet technique, Futon de Tapa, wind release, great breakthrough. Suddenly a great wind picked up and it distorted Yugura's attack on Mei. They both looked on the side and saw masked ninja Tendu blowing the wind. Ah. So he is here too. The reports given to me have mentioned an ANBU masked ninja quite a bit. And finally, I got to meet him, said Yugura, landing on the ground. For some reason, Tendu could sense another chakra source, different from Biju, inside Yugura's body. To confirm his suspicion, Tendu looked behind at Ao Taishu. Please use your Byakugan on Yugura. I sense a strong genjutsu casted upon him. It stumped everyone, including Yugura himself. Ao quickly activated his Byakugan and could sense a third chakra present around Yugura's eyes. Yes, Tendu. You are right. Masama, Yugura is under very strong optical illusion. Tendu was in his thoughts now. Optical illusion. But only a Sharingan user could do that. Then that would mean, Uchiha shouted Tendu, who are you? Now everyone's focus was on Yugura, who was standing as rigid as a rock. Suddenly he slacked like a puppet on a rope and started laughing, his voice completely different than his own. Ha ha! So I have been caught, and by a kid nonetheless. I might be losing my touch, said the overridden Yugura. My plan was going great. Kirigakyu no Sato would have been wiped out if you hadn't interfered. I should eliminate you for this, said Yugura as his Biju chakra began to rile up. He was about to go in his transformation state when Tendu appeared in front of him and pressed the chakra-suppressing seal on Yugura's forehead. Yugura stumbled due to sudden loss of chakra when Tendu unsheathed his Wazakashi and chopped Yugura's neck off his body. A heavy silence washed over the grove as Yugura's head slowly made its way down to the ground. Soon, a loud cheer erupted in the rebel forces as the day they were fighting for had finally arrived. Now peace was not a distant dream for them. The tyrannous Mizukage was dead. The Kiri civil war was over. It had been a week since Yugura was killed in action. Across the water country, although there were some accidents, the Mizukage's forces surrendered to rebels as soon as they heard the news about their leader's death. In Kiri, the council members unanimously declared Mei, a dual bloodline user, as the fifth Mizukage. She quickly passed the decree to forgive Yugura's shinobi, albeit they surrendered to her completely. Tendu was slowly making his way towards the village's gates. Mei promised to visit Konoha around the next Chunin exams held in Konoha to discuss details about a possible alliance between Konoha and Kiri. His mission was complete, and he had to report back to Fire Daimyo. At the gates, he saw Mei and Ao waiting. Going already? Asked Mei. Hi, Mizukage-sama. My mission here is complete. I have to report back to Daimyo-sama. Why did you reject your mission pay then? Asked Mei. Sorry about that, Mizukage-sama. I cannot accept pay for stopping a war in a foreign village started by my village's former shinobi. It's against the ethics and moral code. I hope you accept my services as an apology for what was done to your country indirectly by Konoha. Tendu replied, bowing to Mizukage. So strong but still so pure. That's what I like about you. Take care of yourself and those close to you, said Mei, hugging him and kissing his forehead. She broke the contact and after giving a quick nod to both Mei and Ao, Tendu walked out of the gates. They watched him walk when he stopped suddenly. He stood still for a minute before turning his head back. Naruto. That's my name, he said before disappearing using a shunshin. Naruto was walking down the dark corridor of Root headquarters. It had been 2 years since he was last here. This was his academy. His home. A place which readily accepted him without asking much questions. Though he had good memories about his time at Daimyo's palace, nothing worked better for him than the secluded corridors of the headquarters. Up ahead, he could see Danzoo's office. He had been his master for 10 years. He had saved Naruto, he had accepted him and gave him shelter, and he had provided him with the skills to take on the world. And for that Naruto had utmost respect for him. Naruto walked close to the door and knocked in a coded fashion. Each agent en route had to knock in specific format to identify themselves and Naruto was no different. Come in, came a voice from behind the door. Naruto opened the door and walked in. Behind the desk was Danzoo. He still looked calm and composed as Naruto last saw him. Naruto still wasn't completely able to gauze his emotions from his face. But being a skilled censor, Naruto could see that Danzoo was happy to see him. Naruto quickly got on his knee and bowed to Danzoo. So you are here. Anything to report, Naruto? Asked Danzoo, straight to business. Hi, Danzoo-sama. I have improved my abilities in Taijutsu and Fuinjutsu under Chirikusen from Fire Temple. He even helped me with meditation, which significantly improved my control on Mokuton. There had not been any significant event to report about except one. 2 months ago, Daimyo-sama had sent me to Water Country to help the rebels with the war. Yes, he contacted me about that 10 days ago. I heard that your mission was successful and Kiri has asked to form an alliance with us. You did well, Naruto. So, what observations did you draw from the war? Asked Danzoo. The war has been indirectly started because of Konoha, said Naruto, and that caught Danzoo's attention. What makes you say that? In the last ambush attack on Yagura, we came to know that he was under a heavy optical illusion. Since only a Sharingan wielder can cast such a genjutsu, I concluded that the war was indirectly led by an Uchiha. Who do you have in mind? After the Uchiha massacre 3 years ago, there are only 2 known Uchiha left, Uchiha Itachi and his younger brother Uchiha Sasuke. Since the war had started way before Itachi defected and Sasuke doesn't even have a Sharingan yet, tells me that there's one more unknown Uchiha out there who is quite powerful to ensnare a perfect Jinchuriki under a genjutsu. And according to history, only Uchiha Madara had that power, but he is said to have died while fighting the first Hokage at the Valley of the End. Even if he was somehow alive, he should have died with old age, said Danzoo. Hi, Danzoo-sama. I too reached at these 2 contradictory conclusions, and it doesn't make sense. There is a powerful, unknown Uchiha about whom we have no knowledge. Your observations will be duly noted for further investigations, said Danzoo, as he walked closer to Naruto. Slowly he extended his hand towards Naruto. Hand over your Anbu mask, Naruto. Without any hesitation, Naruto removed his white Anbu mask and handed it over to Danzoo. You are the best I have. You served me in Konoha well from the shadows, but now it is time for you to step out in the light. Today, Naruto, I relieve you from your services at Root. From now on, you will be reporting directly to the Hokage. Be loyal to him and serve the village well, said Danzoo as he turned his back on him. You can visit me if you need any help. That's all. Naruto's sensor abilities could pick a bit of sadness in Danzoo's chakra. It internally made him happy that his surrogate father cared for him. Standing slowly, he quickly wiped away a lone tear from his right cheek. He could not show emotions now, he was trained not to. Hi, Danzoo-sama, said Naruto as he vanished away with a shunshin. Hiruzen had been quite agitated past 2 months. Since his meeting with Danzoo about Naruto, he was troubled about declaring Naruto's heritage to him, and to the world. You cannot just pop an heir of one of the strongest clan in the world out of nowhere. He was asked by Minato to wait till Naruto is at least Chunin. But from the report given by Danzoo, Naruto was easily a Jounin-level ninja. It is time, to hell with what the world thinks, thought Hiruzen. He was sorting out the documents out of an S-class file folder stored in a drawer under his table when he heard a knock on the door. Come in, ordered the Hokage, sitting straight in his chair now. The door opened and in entered blonde adolescent around 5 feet 4 inches tall. He wore a simple blue outfit with an orange Uzumaki swirl on the back of the shirt, and a white sash with a kanji of fire around his waist, showing he was one of the former guardian of the fire daimyo. He wore a wazakashi with red handle on his back. He wore a black face mask like Kakashi on his emotionless face, and had piercing blue eyes with slits like pupils that to Hiruzen felt like searing right through him. His untamed long blonde hair further added ferociousness to the newcomer's untamed look. Uzumaki Naruto reporting for duty, Hokage-sama, said Naruto, giving a formal bow to the 3rd Hokage. Hiruzen internally frowned a bit. Gone was the boy who would lovingly call him Hokage-jiji, and run around him. In front of him was a well-trained shinobi, ready to kill at a single command of his. He hardened himself, and replied in a similar strict business fashion as he was addressed. Naruto, so you have arrived. I was waiting for you. Danzoo had told me that you will report here today. He told me a lot about you and boy I am impressed. Making it to the post of 12 ninja guardians at such a young age is a feat in itself, said Hiruzen, his grandfatherly side clearly proud. Thank you, Hokage-sama, said Naruto, quickly nodding his head. As for your skills now, I already know about your bloodline, said Hiruzen, trying to gauge Naruto's reaction, but not even a twitch of an eyebrow was visible. Sighing he continued, please forbid using it in public until necessary. I want that to remain hidden as long as possible, ordered Hiruzen and got a quick nod in return. Now, Danzoo has spoken a lot about you and I trust his confidence in you. Unfortunately, I cannot directly promote you to the position of Jounin as it will attract a lot of attention. So, by the power vested in me, I hereby promote you to the rank of Tokubetsu Jounin, Special Jounin, Hiruzen declared as he walked closer to Naruto and handed him his green flak jacket. Now that you have become a Special Jounin, it's high time for you to learn about your heritage, about your parents, said Hiruzen slowly as he extended a sealed letter towards Naruto. Naruto kept on looking at the letter for a minute before holding it, as if trying to gauze its contents. He saw a blood seal under the label of the 4th Hokage. Biting his thumb, he swiped his blood on the seal, which glowed for a few seconds before vanishing. He unfolded the letter and started reading through it. October 10th. Dear Naruto, if you are reading this letter, then I must have died sealing the QB inside you. I am extremely sorry for pushing down such a huge responsibility on your shoulders, but it was necessary to stop the attack and there were no other methods left. But I believe in you, you are my son after all. As you would have guessed, my name is Senju Minato, the 4th Hokage of Konohagakure no Sato. Your mother's name is Senju Uzumaki Kushina. She came to Konoha from Yuzushiogakure, Hidden Whirlpool Village, and became the second Jinchuriki after first Hokage's wife and your grand-aunt, Uzumaki Mito. Know that we both deeply loved you since the day we knew Kushina was pregnant with you. We were so happy holding you in our arms the day you were born. We would have been together if that masked man hadn't attacked the village and released the QB. Now, know that the Jinchuriki seal is weakened considerably in women when they are undergoing childbirth. That night, a masked man came inside the cave where you were conceived and unsealed the QB out of Kushina. He had ensnared QB with an optical genjutsu, and unleashed him inside of Konoha. I fought him down, and was able to free the QB out of his genjutsu. To stop QB's rampage, I teleported him out of village, where I sealed the Yin chakra of QB inside me using Shiki Fujin, Dead Demon Consuming Seal, and sealed the Yang chakra inside you using Hak no Fuin Shiki, 8 trigram sealing style, since your body wasn't developed enough to handle the whole of QB. According to me, a ninja who can outmaneuver the ANBU, slipped through a top-scale barrier, and could unseal and control the nine-tailed beast with an optical genjutsu can only be one person, i.e., Uchiha Madara, even if that's possible. So if you ever encounter someone like this in the future, remain at your toes. Now with me gone, Tsunade-chan would be handling the issues of the clan. I hope you have good connection with her. Help her and the village to the fullest, and know that your parents always loved you. Senju Minato. Naruto quickly wiped away a lone tear crawling down his right eye. His parents loved him and didn't abandon him, and he felt a huge weight crumbling off his heart. His parents died in a noble cause and that was enough for him to sigh in ease. But matters like Uchiha Madara had more priority now. He folded the letter and kept it back on the table. Please read it, Hokage-sama, said Naruto. Hiruzen nodded and began reading the letter. He smiled a bit reading the parts where Minato expressed his love and belief in his son, but his face faltered reading the third and fourth paragraph and Naruto could sense anxiety leaking out of him. As he finished reading, Hiruzen massaged his wrinkled bridge of his nose and let out a troubled sigh. Hokage-sama, if I may? Asked Naruto. Hiruzen looked up at Naruto's deep blue eyes and gave a nod. Hokage-sama, before my arrival back from the capital, I was sent on a secret mission by Daimyo-sama to Kiri to help the rebels win the war. Began Naruto. The mission was a success. I was able to kill the 4th Mizukage, Yagura, and the conditions at Kiri are stabilizing. The 5th Mizukage, Terumi, may even agreed to come to Konoha during the next Chunin exams to form an alliance. Hiruzen was quite angry to be kept in shadows about such an important mission, and he needed to have a talk with Fire Daimyo about it. But it was a good news too that Konoha helped Kiri to gain lasting stabilization, which would possibly lead to very strong ties between the two countries in the future. Before he spoke, Naruto spoke up again, but in the end, we came across a very important info. Yagura was under an influence of a very high-level optical genjutsu, and the whole war had been orchestrated by a third person, who we concluded to be an Uchiha, possibly Uchiha Madara. And I think that this unknown Uchiha and the masked ninja Yondaime-sama fought are related or are same person. Hiruzen's blood almost shrank hearing Madara's name again. A missing nin from Konoha, who should have died a long time ago, was causing chaos across the continent right under Hiruzen's nose, and he comes to know about it after 13 years. His years are clearly getting on him. Naruto, does anybody knows about the appearance of Madara in the mission apart from both of us? Asked Hiruzen. Hi. Apart from both of us, Danzoo-sama, Mizukage-sama, the swordswoman come ANBU hiding near the bookshelf and the ill-looking ANBU hiding in the ceiling gap of your office. Nobody knows about this detail. Despite the situation, Hiruzen had to laugh. A 13-year-old ninja could easily pick out the ANBU hiding in the office and he was thoroughly pleased with Naruto's analysis. But he also have to ask the ANBU commander to up the ANBU training. Yugao, Hade, come out. Your positions have been discovered. In a blink of an eye, they appeared behind Naruto, holding out their swords aiming at his various body parts. How did you know I was there? My Maisegakure no Jutsu, chameleon technique, is second only to Jiraiya-sama and Haikuen. Asked Yugao, aiming her sword near Naruto's crotch. Wrong, Yugao-san, said another Naruto, who rippled out of the space at her back, aiming a kunai at her throat. I think you have more competition now. Your technique faltered around your sword and it gave away your position. One more thing to consider, Yugao-san, please use neutral honorifics when on duty. Your reference to Haid-sen here further gave away your relationship with him, which can be easily exploited by enemies. And if I aimed my kunai at him, a third Naruto appeared behind Hade aiming the kunai at his jugular. Naruto continued, I can easily sense your chakra riling up and anger rolling out of you in waves. Please take care of that, said the second Naruto, before disappearing along with the clone behind Hade. There was a pin-drop silence for a minute in the room. Yugao and Hade had lowered their swords. The tobacco pipe from Hiruzen's mouth had fallen down on the table. Yugao was clearly downcasted, not liking being deftly one-upped by a 13-year-old. Hate slowly sheathed his sword and broke the budding silence in the room. Naruto-san. Cough, how did you know that I am ill? Cough, asked Hate. Well, my sensor abilities picked up low chakra around your right lung than any of your other body parts, showing a less developed chakra pathway system around it, implying to a weaker right lung. When you were hiding, your breathing was short and constant, and didn't pressurize your lung much. But your cough-filled talk now proved my findings. Concluded Naruto with his straight voice. As much as the ANBU in the room wanted to disagree, the 13-year-old in front of them was a damn good shinobi. Hiruzen wanted to stand up and applaud him for his perfect observations and conclusions but didn't want it to demoralize the ANBU further, so he began with his speech. Thank you, Naruto. I must say your observations were quite accurate, and my both ANBU should pay heed towards your advices. Now with the main talk, I declare the recent info regarding the possible Uchiha Rogue and S-rank secret. These talks shouldn't leave this room or the ninja will be dealt with execution. Declared the third Hokage, getting a nod from his three subordinates. The ANBU then vanished back to their hiding places within the office. And Naruto, you can use your paternal family name and compound from now on. The whole Senju compound operates on seals. He said, tomorrow is the academy graduation class. Graduates will be divided among selected jounins to form a four-man cell. Naruto, as a Tokubetsu jounin, your work will be to act as assistant jounin sensei to the teams who will pass the real genin test. I will help you rotate your duties among them. You will also be performing the missions I assign you or be performing missions with the respective genin teams. Dismissed. Hi, Hokage-sama. Saluted Naruto. As he was about to walk out of the door opened and a young brown-haired boy wearing a long blue scarf walked in holding a wooden kunai in his right hand. His eyes were focused directly on the Hokage. Gigi! He yelled. Today I will defeat you and take that fancy hat of yours. Naruto watched as the intruder took a few steps further before tripping on his own scarf, his face landing directly in front of Naruto's feet. The Hokage let out a loud sigh before massaging his wrinkled temples with his hands. Ah! The intruder hissed, as he slowly stood rubbing his forehead, when his eyes fell on a blonde figure standing in front of him. Why did you trip me? Don't you know I am? He shouted. Naruto adopted to answer him in an emotionless manner. No, I didn't trip you. You fell stepping on your own scarf. And no, I don't know who you are. As they were arguing, another sunglasses-wearing ninja walked in, whom Naruto guessed to be a Tokubetsu jounin. The ninja quickly came in between the argument, and had his hand set on his kunai pouch. Stop arguing with the Omego-sama, honorable grandson, boy, or you will face the consequences. Said the sunglasses-wearing ninja. Naruto, from the corner of his eye, saw the young boy drawing his mouth back in a snarl at the word Omego-sama, clearly not like the title. Before the situation became worse, Hiruzen interrupted their talks. Naruto. This young lad here is my grandson, Sarutobi Konohamaru. And the ninja is Ebisu, Konohamaru's personal guard and private trainer. Konohamaru, Ebisu, this is Senju Naruto. Said Hiruzen, as he lighted up his tobacco pipe. Though Konohamaru was confused, he had heard the name Senju somewhere. Ebisu was gaping like a fish. But Hokage-sama, isn't Tsunade-sama the only Senju left? Asked Ebisu. No, Ebisu. Naruto here is the son of the fourth. His identity was kept incognito all these years to protect him better against threats. Replied Hiruzen, clearing the doubts. After a minute of silence, Ebisu straightened up and gave Naruto a deep bow. I apologize for my behavior, Senju-sama. I didn't know who you are. Said Ebisu. Ebisu-san, please stop this. Said Naruto in a neutral voice. We are colleagues and work on equal stands, so there is no need for you to be so formal to me. Further, you didn't do anything wrong earlier. You were just doing your duty of protecting young Sarusen here. He said before turning to Konohamaru. Sarusen, your constant attacking attempts won't make you the Hokage. The Hokage is the strongest ninja in the village for nothing. You must train harder than anybody else in the village because there is no shortcut for becoming a Hokage. Said Naruto, though his eyes were hardened, his voice had a bit of gentleness in it. The old Hokage had a lone tear escaping his eye. It was his Tobirama sensei who used to call him Saru in fondness, and now his grandson is called Saru by his sensei's grandson. History surely repeated itself. Naruto turned back towards the door and opened the door. He stopped and looked back at Ebisu one last time. Ebisu-san, if you stop yourself and others calling Saru-san Omego-sama and call him by his name, I am sure his constant attacks on Hokage-sama will stop, he said before he walked out of the office. Hiruzen was pleased. Even though Naruto seemed a bit antisocial, there was still hope for him. There is hope for me to redeem myself, thought Hiruzen. It had been a day since Naruto moved in the Senju clan compound. It was as big as the Hyuga clan compound and as empty as the Uchiha clan compound. It was ironic that the two of the history's biggest and strongest rival clans were shortened down to only 2 known members each. But it didn't bother Naruto at all. He liked secluded places and couldn't find anything better. The compound was quite near to the 44th training ground, also known as the Forest of Death. In respect to clan's relation with the forest, the compound's placement was very accurate. With the danger lurking at every corner of the forest, and the privacy it provided from rest of the village, It was a perfect place for him to train. Naruto found the ceiling done around the compound state-of-the-art. Some of the seals even he had a little difficulty understanding. With the history of sealing legends like Uzumaki Mido, his father and his mother and the compound, he couldn't need any better confirmation. But there were some parts Naruto had no access to, most importantly, the clan library. The library itself was huge, as big as the village's own library. He can easily see why Senju clan was known as the clan with 1,000 skills from the sheer size of it. But he needed someone else's blood to unlock the seal on the door, the head of the clan's blood. It was a treasure trove of unspeakable knowledge. A child's curiosity of learning something new and exciting was still in him, and he could only imagine what all knowledge is trapped inside the library's walls. He could only imagine where the current clan head, Senju Tsunade, was. He came to know about his family when he was 4.5, during a history lesson at Root. When he was told that the first Hokage was the Mokuton user like him, he quickly linked his relations with the Senju clan, as bloodlines are only passed through blood, A/N, forgive the pun. By the end of the day and surfing through various history books, he had found that he looked a lot like the fourth Hokage and his wife was pregnant during Kyuubi's attack. He had derived the meaning, and cried himself to sleep at night. He didn't tell anyone about his discovery, and only asked Danzoo once before going to the fire daimyo. As a budding ninja, fourth Hokage was a hero in his eye, but as a child, he always had two thoughts in his mind about his parents. Did they love me, or did they hate me and abandon me for the village? Many times, the second question had more possible answers to support than first one. The fourth Hokage loved his village. He could kill for the village, and he could die for his village. Then why not sacrifice your son for the village too? It seemed plausible, and he did sacrifice him in a way. As a ninja, it was quite heroic that you can sacrifice your family for the sake of the village. As a son, a single thought like this almost burned down a hole in his chest. But the letter from the Hokage brought peace to the ache in his chest. His parents loved him and they won't ask anybody else but him to deal with the Kyuubi because they believed in him. For the lovelorn heart of his, that was more than enough. But then came the case of Senju Tsunade. If she was there present in the village during his birth, according to his father's letter, then why wasn't she there for him later in his life? According to the history books, she sounded like a super powerful Iranian. But to him, she was a traitor who ran away from her duties, her responsibilities, and her family. He had already planned to have an all-out fight with her the time he sees his Wani-sama. And then bring her back afterwards, if she remained alive. After having an intense 4 hours training session at the Forest of Death, Naruto quickly took a shower. Today, he was about to meet with the graduating teams at the academy. As far as he knew, all the graduates were of his age group and definitely wanted to see what he would have been like if he had proceeded through the academy to become a ninja. He wasn't living in the clan head's house in the compound. He found a simple one-room house in the darkest corners of the compound. It had one bedroom with a single bed, cupboard and study table near a curtainless window, a bathroom and a small kitchen with almost no utensils. So, by chance, if Anko was just passing by his house to reach the training ground, she could have easily seen him wiping off his well-chiseled and lean body with a towel and his hair falling on his unmasked, whiskered face. He also had an ANBU swirl tattoo on his left bicep. Quickly, he wore a standard black long-sleeve ninja suit over a mesh shirt with an Uzumaki swirl on the right bicep, arm guards, strapped up ninja sandals and tied the kunai holder around his right thigh. He had cut his shoulder-length spiky hair to the length of a finger. He took the white sash with the fire kanji he got from the fire daimyo, and tied it around his waist. He then took out a Senju clan personalized jounin vest from the cupboard, which he had found while exploring the clan head's house in the evening. It was plain blue flak jacket, except it was blue in color, had distinctive white fur around the collar and had the Senju clan symbol, the Vajra, below the fur at the back. Looking at the mirror inside his room, he smiled a bit seeing his new look. Taking a good look at the Hapuri-style forehead protector that he had also found at the head house before putting it on, he saw that it had Senju emblem engraving on the inside and Konoha's emblem on the outside. It was a perfect fit on him. He won't be wearing the face mask now, he doesn't need to hide from the world anymore. He took one last look in the mirror before he walked out of the room, picking up a sealing-related book from the study table. He looked like a young, blonde version of his grandfather. Graduation day, Ninja Academy, Kanahegakure. Okay kids, settle down, said Irika, the Chunin Academy teacher to the graduates returning from their lunch break. When they settled down, Irika began his speech. Today, you all graduate from the academy and become a full-fledged ninja. Remember that the world of ninja is a scary place. You will have to continue your hard work to survive and aspire your dreams, and I wish you all the best. Now, I am going to announce the names of the Student of the Year and Kunoichi of the Year. And this year's top graduate's name is Yuke. Before he could finish, he was interrupted by a loud knock on the door. He always cherished the look on a graduate's face when their names were announced, and was annoyed by the knock. Come in, he ordered. The door opened and the whole class gasped, looking at the intruder, as if seeing a ghost. Shaggy blonde hair, whiskered face, and looked just like the second Hokage from the history books. He looked as old as the current graduates, albeit a little taller. Without looking up from the book in his hands, he crossed the room and came to stop near Irika. Irika shook himself out of the thoughts and straightened up. Yes? Who are you and what do you want? inquired Irika. Without looking out of the book in hand, the intruder opened his kunai holder, which actually stiffened Irika, and took out a small piece of paper with Hokage's seal on it, and extended it to Irika. That got Irika's attention as he took it and started reading it hurriedly. The whole class could see their teacher's face expression going from worry to shock and finally settled down to gaping fish face. Irika-sensei, what's wrong? Asked Yamanaka Ino, the heir of the Yamanaka clan and a gossiping fangirl, as she eyed the mysterious eye candy that walked inside the class from the corner of her eye. Regaining his wits and giving back the slip to the intruder with trembling hands, Irika turned towards the class. Alright class, there's an important announcement made by the Hokage-sama. This ninja here, he continued, looking at the intruder, is SS Senju Naruto, Tokubetsu Jounin. He will be acting as the additional sensei to all the graduating teams this year. Say hello to Naruto-sensei. Heavy silence fell in the room for a minute before the shouting broke the silence. How is he our sensei? He is just as old as me, shouted Inuzuka Kiba, a brat and the heir of Inuzuka clan, the clan famous for their use of Niken, ninja dogs. His Niken Akamaru barking to support his question. My bugs are reacting differently around him because they are reacting like they react around a tree but are scared to go near him, said Aburaim Shino, a Kikechu bug user and the heir of Aburaim clan. I hope he will help me become strong and confident, just like father wants, thought lavender-eyed Hyuga Hinata, the heir of the Hyuga clan, house of the famed Dojutsu, Byakugan. Man, this is so troublesome. Two sensei to face together. And Tsunade of the Sannin was the last senju left, so where has he come from? So damn troublesome, thought Nara Shikamaru, heir of the deer-loving Nara clan. I hope he takes us to barbecue restaurant after this, said Akimichi Chuji, heir of the Akimichi clan, a hot, mysterious sensei. I am already liking it. Though if Sasuke-kun is in my team somehow, it would be a dream come true, thought Ino. He might be good-looking but nothing comes before Sasuke-kun, thought a pink-haired Haruno Sakura, a civilian graduate, though Naruto was already hating the shouting in the room but was quite fascinated with the emotions coming from the students. Disbelief, confusion, hope, hunger, love and many more. Yet, the oddest of the all was hatred. Deep, pure hatred. He looked up from the book at the source and found a raven-haired boy looking at him with his raven eyes, sitting at the farthest corner of the class. He wore a deep blue t-shirt with high collars and had a red and white fan in the sleeves. An Uchiha. Oh, how can Naruto miss this staring contest between the heirs of two historic rival clans? The world seemed to stop around them as the Senju's blue slit eyes locked with the Uchiha's black ones. The shouting seemed to lower as the class felt someone in the back riling up her chakra. The graduates and Irika looked up and saw the Uchiha in a stare-down competition with the newly arrived blonde sensei. Though no boy wanted to admit, but Sasuke was easily the strongest in their class and had the maximum chakra among them, more than an average genin. Everyone could see purple chakra outline and a half-smirk on his face, taunting the blonde. Naruto raised an eyebrow as he saw Sasuke playing a dangerous game. Irika so wanted to stop Sasuke from taunting his sensei when suddenly he drowned in a wave of pure chakra. It hit the class like a shockwave. It was so strong that the graduates in the front row passed out of the pressure. Shino's Kikechu swarmed around haywire and Akamaru hid himself inside Kiba's jacket and started wailing. Others could see the floor and the walls cracking up when the blonde ninja riled up his chakra and it killed the smirk on the Uchiha's face. The floor beneath his desk cracked and the Uchiha fell off his seat, giving Naruto his win. Everyone then silently watched as Naruto walked up to a corner, diagonal to that of Sasuke, and to their sheer amazement, walk up on the wall. He reached up on the roof, squatted down and started reading his book. Silence spread in the class before Kiba's loud mouth broke it using 4 loud words. That was so awesome. Hokage Tower, half an hour ago. Hiruzen didn't want to miss this day at any cost. Today he was launching the Senju heir back in the world and he surely didn't want to miss the expression on people's faces. So when he opened his office door that day, he wasn't surprised to see his jounins gathered inside. There was Mato Gai, his son Sarutobi Asuma, the newly promoted Genjutsu mistress Yuhi Kurinai, and many more. Even the ever-late copy ninja, Hataki Kakashi, was present there. Nodding to them, the Hokage quickly made his way towards his seat behind the desk. Once seated, he looked up and saw every jounin raising their hands to ask something. Kurinai, he said simply, addressing her request first. Who is he, Hokage-sama? She asked. He is Senju Uzumaki Naruto, son of the 4th Hokage and the heir of Senju clan. The mention of son of the 4th Hokage lowered many hands, but heavy murmuring began in the room. Silence, the Hokage said, his voice booming around the room, effectively ending the murmuring. Guy, Hokage-sama, said Guy. I have heard that he is 13 and he is going to be acting as an additional sensei to the new graduates. Don't you think he is too young for this? He asked. No youth cliches in the sentence? No, Guy. Though he is very young, but he is skilled and has experience. His Senju blood runs strong in his veins. You don't know, but he ended the civil war at Kiri, and that raised quite many eyebrows and gasps. But Hokage-sama Asuma spoke up. We didn't send any support from Konoha to Kiri. How did he end the war? Apparently, the Fire Daimyo sent him on a secret mission to help his friend's country. Naruto worked under Danzoo for 10 years. Asuma, like you, he was one of the 12 guardian ninja of the Fire Daimyo for 2 years. You should meet with him, said Hiruzen, enjoying the gaping look on his son's face. Finally he turned towards the last hand, which belonged to Hitaki Kakashi. Yes, Kakashi? Is he the Jinchuriki of Kyubi? Heavy silence spread across the room as everyone's attention towards their leader. Hiruzen looked at his top-level subordinates. They had the right to know about it if they have to protect the village in the future. Closing his eyes, he gave a firm nod. Before anyone else could continue, Hiruzen opened the desk drawer and took out his famous crystal ball, which acted like a telescope and could track an individual. Now, before you guys speak anything, I had ordered Naruto to report at the academy 5 minutes ago. So if you guys want to know more about him, you all are welcome to stay, said Hiruzen as he activated his crystal ball and focused it on Naruto. The Jounins, not seeing any problem, quickly gathered around the ball. They saw a blue-clad figure standing beside the Chunin teacher, who was reading some note with gaping mouth. What is he reading? Asked Guy, trying to figure out the note. Oh, it's nothing. I just wrote that his name was Senju Naruto, and he will be acting as support senseis to this year's graduating teams, answered Hiruzen. Then Sei saw the graduates shouting when Irika told them about Hokage's message. Naruto looked a bit annoyed by it, but he was silently reading his book. Does he also read smut like Kakashi? Asked Kurenai, fuming a little. Apparently not, Kurenai, said Hiruzen. As much as I can see, he is reading some book on sealing. I was told that he showed keen interest in Fuinjutsu. The village can surely use a master of this fragile art. Next, they saw that the shouting in the class suddenly died down. Naruto looked up his book, and his eyes were locked in the corner of the class. Changing the angle of the crystal ball to the corner of the class, they saw Uchiha Sasuke warily looking at Naruto with the pure look of hatred. Ah, not again, groaned Hiruzen, rubbing the bridge of his nose. What's wrong, Hokage-sama? Asked Guy, concerned about his leader. Guy, what we are seeing is the new generation of Senju Uchiha legendary rivalry. If they get past it and become friends, they both can lead to great things, like Senju Hashirama and Uchiha Madara working together to form this village. But if it gets bitter, there will be destruction at mass scale, like fight between the first Hokage and Uchiha Madara at the Valley of the End. It's like it is in their genes to hate each other. They saw in the ball that Naruto had accepted the stare-down challenge. I definitely want to see this, said Tokubetsu Jounin Mitarashi Anko, her voice brimming with excitement. Sasuke has started riling up his chakra, which was nothing in comparison to that of Jounin's, with a half-assed smirk. Naruto looked calmly at the Uchiha, and just raised an eyebrow at it. Then they saw the hell breaking loose in the class. As Naruto riled up his chakra, the floor broke beneath his feet and the walls cracked up. Being near to academy, the tremors could easily be felt in the office of the Hokage. Irika and the front row graduates fainted in Naruto's sheer presence. Sasuke's desk broke and the Uchiha fell off his desk, giving the victory to Naruto. Finally, they saw Naruto walking up the wall and squatted on the roof calmly reading his book, as if nothing had happened. The Jounins in the office silently straightened up. They were too stumped up to say anything. Naruto's chakra levels were easily beyond Kage-level shinobi, without using Kyuubi's power. As they were about to leave to meet their new teams at the academy, everybody saw Anko raising her hand to question the Hokage. Yes, Anko? Asked Hiruzen, suddenly looking 10 years older than the previous second. May I work with him in the near future? Asked Anko excitedly. Hiruzen let out a deep sigh when he thought about all the sadistic techniques Anko and Naruto will use on others if they work together in the near future. He definitely didn't expect these incidents today. I am too old for this stuff, he thought as he gave a small nod to Anko. Graduation Hall, Ninja Academy, Konoha. Sitting like a bat on the corner of the roof, Naruto silently observed the graduates from his age group from the edges of the ceiling book. All of them were silently gazing back at him, some warily and some with star-filled eyes. From their faces and chakra levels, he knew that only around 30% would pass the actual Genin test, which would be mostly comprised of the members of the ninja clans. He knew this was important. You simply can't send anybody on the front line to fight if they are not born to fight. Only around 1/5 of these passing 30% will belong to civilian families, even less. Rest all would either come back to the academy to redo a year, or they would simply drop and begin their civilian life in the village. On the diagonal corner of the room, the Uchiha was sprawled across the floor, and 2 girls, one with pink hair and the other looked like the Yamanaka girl, were busy trying waking him up. After 2 minutes of their crying and wailing, Naruto closed his book and brought his attention towards the graduates in the second row, who almost fell from the chair under his uninterested yet piercing gaze. Someone bring some water and wake everybody up in the class. I don't think we have whole day for that, he said flatly, pointing towards Uchiha fan club. After some blinking and snickering of the graduates, they quickly got up and fetched some water from the washroom to wake up their Chunin teacher and rest of the class. Irika woke up with a start. Standing up slowly, he looked around and found himself in the class. Some of his students looked worried. What was that? He thought. It felt like I was hit by a tsunami. And why are there cracks on the floor? Looking around, he found a blue vest-clad someone crouched on the roof of the room, silently reading a book. Memories of the immediate past rushed back in Irika's head as he turned back to face his class, his body trembling, wanting to finish this dream or nightmare as quickly as possible. Alright class, he fumbled. I am going to announce your teams and Jounin Sensei for the Y year. They are formed as a group of 3 genin which is led by an elite Jounin shinobi. It is so that ninja can learn teamwork and experience true shinobi life, and they are based on the genin individual skills to balance between the teams, said Irika as he took the sheet from teacher's desk. So this year's teams are Team 1 Team 6 A/N, don't know, don't care. Naruto wasn't much interested about the graduates in these teams as they were formed of civilians and had very less chance of going through. Team 7 Uchiha Sasuke, Haruno Sakura, and Inuzuka Kiba. Your sensei will be Hatake Kakashi. Naruto just raised his brow without looking out of his book. Hearing her name was Sasuke, Sakura jumped up with delight. Sasuke just humphed in a typical Uchiha way and glared at Naruto, and Kiba shouted, getting Irika's attention. Ino pig. See? I got to be with Sasuke-kun and not you. Even the fate favors me. My love is stronger than yours, yelled Sakura at Ino. Sensei. Why is Forehead and Kiba placed in Sasuke's team and not me? Shouted Ino. Sensei. Why am I teamed up with this dark emo ass? Asked Kiba, Akamaru yipping in his support. Kiba, language. And as for your team, I told you that they are balanced out based on Genin's individual skills. Now since Sasuke and Sakura passed with highest marks and you passed with lowest, you 3 are teamed together, said Irika. The class laughed at Kiba, who grumbled and lowered his head. Irika continued, now, team 8 will be Aburaim Shino, Hyuga Hinata and Karama Yakumo. Your Jounin instructor will be Yuhi Kurinai. Shino gave a quick nod, along with the meek nods of lavender-eyed Hinata and brown-haired Yakumo, the heir of the Karama clan. Team 9, led by Might Guy, is still in rotation from last year, said Irika. So Team 10 will be Yamanaka Ino, Naro Shikamaru and Akimichi Chuji. Your Jounin sensei is Sarutobi Asuma. Ino groaned, Shikamaru muttered, troublesome, and went back to sleep, and Chuji kept munching his potato chips. Irika continued, the Team Jounin leaders will be coming here to pick up the respective teams in 15 minutes. So for the time being, please get to know your additional sensei. With that, he picked up all his paperwork and ran out of the room without even looking at the blonde Tokubetsu Jounin. Was Senju? Shouted Sasuke, as the door closed behind Irika. What did you do to me? It's sensei for you, Uchiha-san, replied Naruto, as he looked up from his book, in a calm and firm voice. As for what I did is none of your concern. The Uchiha and his fangirls were seething in anger but didn't reply back. That was so cool, Naruto-sensei. The Uchiha emo deserved it, shouted Kiba, with Akamaru's spark in tow. I have a question, Naruto-sensei, said Shino. How are you hanging upside down on the roof? He asked. Everybody in the class now had their eyes directed towards Naruto. What do you mean, Aburaim-san? Asked Naruto, with a bit of confusion on his face. Didn't the academy teach you tree-walking exercise? It is for chakra control. I am afraid not, sensei, replied Shino, pushing his goggles up his nose. For chakra control, we have only been taught leaf balancing exercises. Then the standards of Konoha Ninja Academy are lower than I anticipated, said Naruto, as he went back to read his sealing book. The students were dumbfounded on the comment. Before they could reply back, the door of the classroom opened and 2 Jounins walked in. One was a tall man with a small beard, wearing standard Konoha ninja uniform with Jounin flak jacket. He had the Hittite of Konoha tied to his forehead, and wore a white sash with kanji of fire along his waist, signifying his association with the 12 ninja guardians. The other Jounin was a fair-skinned female with red eyes and long, untamed black hair. Her outfit consisted of a red mesh armor blouse with only right-hand sleeve. Rest of her outfit had a similar pattern of that of bandages and regular sandals, her Hittite tied on her forehead. They both gave a pensive look to Naruto before they turned to look at the new graduates. My name is Sarutobi Asuma, the male Jounin spoke. Team 10, report in training ground 12 in 15 minutes. Yuhi Kurinai, Team 8 Jounin leader, spoke the red-eyed Jounin. Team 8 report in training ground 8 in 15 minutes. As the requested team members got up, Naruto formed a unique cross-handed seal and 2 clones popped up in existence. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, Shadow Clone Technique. The new Genin were amazed as they saw the clones, after giving a quick salute to the original, following Team 8 and Team 10 to their designated meeting areas, and many quickly raised their hands to ask questions from their additional sensei. Naruto, seeing their curiosity, pointed towards the pink-haired girl, Sakura. What technique was that, sensei? Asked Sakura. It's called Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, a B-rank Jounin level technique, replied Naruto, looking up from his book. What is the difference between it and Bunshin no Jutsu clone technique? They look similar to me, questioned Kiba. It may look like that, Inuzuka-san, but in this I form real, tangible clones which can perform tasks like a normal person, unlike Bunshin no Jutsu, said Naruto. All Genin had stars in their eyes knowing about a new shinobi jutsu, except Sasuke, who was seething with anger about the Senju surpassing him. Senju, teach me this technique right now, shouted Sasuke, punching his desk. As soon as he said it, the room temperature suddenly fell many degrees and air became laced with gruesome killing intent affecting Sasuke. It was so strong that Sasuke started envisioning the Uchiha massacre again and suddenly broke down and started crying loudly. It was a very scary sight for the other genin as they had never seen the Uchiha breaking down like that. They silently vowed to themselves never to piss off their blonde sensei again. I said this before and I will say it again, Uchiha-san, said Naruto with a grim face, lowering the killing intent. It is sensei for you. If you order me around again, you will face dire consequences. As the genin quickly regained their bearings, Shino asked the same questions as Sasuke, albeit in proper manner, to which Naruto gave a quick negative nod and explained, sorry Abirame-san, but this technique is a kinjutsu, forbidden technique. Reason being, when you form a shadow clone, your chakra is divided into half and the user can easily die of chakra exhaustion. Getting a quick nod from the Abirame for the explanation, Naruto concentrated back on reading the sealing book again. As the time progressed, other Jounin sensei arrived and took their respective teams and Naruto followed them using shadow clones. An hour had passed and only Team 7 remained in the room. Man! Where is our sensei? Shouted Kiba, Akamaru sleeping on his head. Sasuke was busy looking outside the window and fuming from inside, and Sakura kept stealing glances of her crush and giggled. Getting irritated of this sight, Kiba turned towards the blonde Jounin who was still hanging like a bat. Naruto-sensei, since this Kakashi-sensei isn't turning up, can you teach us anything? Asked puppy-eyed Kiba. Naruto, though unaffected to the puppy eyes, considered Kiba's request and gave a quick nod. Alright, Academy Training Ground, 2 minutes. With that, he merged into the wall and disappeared. Kiba quickly muttered awesome and ran out to the field. Not wanting to be left behind, Sasuke got up and ran out with Sakura trailing him. Training Ground, Ninja Academy, Konoha. Team 7 addressed Naruto with an assertive tone. Today I will teach you the basics of tree climbing exercise, the one I was doing in the classroom. It increases chakra control and you can perform your jutsus more efficiently, said Naruto. He could sense the excitement brimming from the three genin, except a bit of malice from Sasuke. For this practice, you have to focus a fixed amount of chakra to the bottom of your feet, said Naruto as he formed a ram seal and started climbing on a tree in the field without using hands. He reached a high branch and hung himself upside down using chakra under his feet. Remember, less chakra and you won't stick properly. More chakra and you will be pushed away and the tree will break, he said as he passed them a kunai each. Use them to mark your progress on the trees. For starters, try running towards a tree and try to climb, he said as he took out his book and started reading again. Hi! The three genin nodded as they picked up the kunai and chose one tree each to practice. Naruto saw as they ran towards the trees with their kunai ready. Kiba and Sasuke could only make up 4 steps before falling down due to less chakra application, whereas Sakura kept running till she reached the top branch. Yay! I did it in the first try. This was fun, cheered Sakura. Whoa! Sakura, that was awesome, shouted Kiba. Sasuke said nothing but looked a bit jealous. So Haruno-san has advanced chakra control, but that can be contributed to her low genin level reserves, thought Naruto. Haruno-san, you did well. Now I want you to keep hanging like that as long as your chakra allows. It will increase your chakra reserves, said Naruto with a straight face. Hi, sensei, said Sakura as she kept hanging upside down and observed her other teammates. 2 hours had passed and team kept doing the tree climbing exercise. Sakura had passed out within 5 minutes of hanging upside down due to chakra exhaustion. Naruto had caught her and administered basic medical ninjutsu to boost her chakra and then let her sleep under the tree. The other 2 team members had progressed quite a bit and climbed more than half of tree's length. Naruto could sense a hidden chakra signature near the border of the training field. Probably an ANBU to keep an eye on me, he thought. Suddenly, he picked up another unique yet familiar Jounin level chakra signature around the border of the training ground and ordered the team to stand by. Alright, Team 7, your sensei is here. You may stop now and sit down. Also wake up Haruno-san, said Naruto. Within a minute, a silver-haired ninja wearing standard Jounin uniform and a face mask made his presence known before them. His headband was also tilted to cover his left eye. His visible left eye looked bored to Team 7, but Naruto could see the calculative look focused on him. You are late, Kakashi-sensei, shouted Sakura and Kiba. Sasuke grunted with annoyance towards the team sensei but was happy as he hadn't wasted his time. Naruto had come to the ground and was looking at the new arrival with mild irritation. The silver-haired Jounin, Hatake Kakashi, scratched his neck and gave a lazy response. Sorry, I was lost on the road of life. Ignoring the angry stares of the genin and stoic expression of the fellow blonde Jounin, he continued, since we are already outside, we can start with the introduction here itself. Tell me your likes, dislikes, dreams for the future, said Kakashi as he leaned towards a tree. What should we say? Can you introduce yourself first? Asked Sakura. Kakashi let out a tired sigh before speaking. Alright. My name is Hatake Kakashi. There are few things I like and few things I dislike, but I don't want to tell you. I never thought about any dreams for the future. Now your turn, Pinky, said Kakashi. All he told us was his name, thought Team 7 with a sweat drop. Sakura, though annoyed by her nickname, cleared her throat and spoke. My name is Haruno Sakura. She giggled looking at Sasuke. I dislike Ino Pig and my dreams for the future is to, she giggled again looking at Sasuke. Alright, your turn tattoos, said Kakashi, pointing at Kiba. My name is Inuzuka Kiba. I like Akamaru in training and I dislike nicknames and emo ass here, said Kiba. My dream is to become the strongest Inuzuka ever and lead my village and clan to prosperity. What about you, Uchiha? Asked Kakashi. My name is Uchiha Sasuke, said Sasuke. I hate a lot of things and I don't like anything. I have a dream, or rather an ambition to revive my clan and kill a certain man, said Sasuke with a distant look. Alright, so I have a love-struck kunoichi, an ambitious mutt, and an avenger. Great, thought Kakashi as he looked at his team. Soon, his gaze drifted towards his fellow blonde jounin, who was staring impassively at him. And what about you, Naruto-san? Would you like to introduce yourself? Asked Kakashi. My name is Senju Uzumaki Naruto, age 13. I like gardening, reading, studying seals and training. I dislike traitors. My dream is glory of Konoha, said Naruto, without a flicker of emotions. Wow, Naruto-sensei is as old as us and still so strong, thought Kiba and Sakura. Why is this Senju so strong and I am not? What am I doing wrong, thought Sasuke, a Senju version of Uchiha Itachi. Even though he is sensei's legacy, he acts and behaves nothing like him, thought Kakashi. Alright, now the introductions are over. Team 7 will report tomorrow at 7 a.m. on Training Ground 7 for the real Genin exam, said Kakashi with bored expression. But sensei, we already gave the exam at the academy, said Sakura. Yes, you gave the exam, but that isn't the real Genin exam. It only points towards the students who have potential to become ninjas. Tomorrow, I will decide whether you should become Genin or you should be sent back to the academy, explained Kakashi. So report tomorrow in the morning for your exam. Plus, I advise you all to not have breakfast as you might puke. See ya, continued Kakashi. With that, Kakashi disappeared in a puff of smoke. As Naruto turned to look at the Genin's expressions, he had a sudden influx of memories. All the other Team Jounins had already conducted their Genin tests, and only Teams 8 and 10 qualified. Most of the civilian Genin teams were disqualified, as he suspected. Only Team 7 was left for the test, and he will come to know about it tomorrow. Alright team. I will meet you 3 in the morning. Now that you are about to become ninjas of Konoha, never forget to look underneath the underneath. Best of luck. And when not on duty, you can just call me Naruto, he said with a small smile before he too disappeared with a smoke. Hokage Tower, Konoha. Despite the excitement within the ranks for the rookie Genin, the old Hokage was buried under a ton of paperwork. What have I done to do this damn paperwork for so long? Someone please take my place. He cursed mentally as he signed another paper. The door of the office opened and his silver-haired masked Jounin walked in, his orange Ika Paradise smut in his hand. Still cursing the paperwork, Hokage-sama? Said Kakashi mockingly, giggling like a girl behind his mask. I think this table is cursed or something. No matter how hard I try to finish the paperwork, the height of the stack never decreases, said Hokage with an exasperated sigh. He kept his pen down and picked his tobacco stick. He looked at the masked Jounin for a minute before he started interrogating him. So how was it? Asked Hiruzen. How was what, Hokage-sama? My team or the additional sensei? Both. Well, I haven't tested my team yet. I have asked them to report to me tomorrow in Training Ground 7 for their Genin exam, so you will know by tomorrow whether they are in or out. Alright, and what about Naruto? Asked the Hokage. Well, Hokage-sama, Naruto is an enigma. I don't know whether I should trust him fully or I should be wary of him because he was raised by Danzoo. Explain your reasons, Kakashi? He is nothing like Danzoo's trained ninja. He actually have feelings left in him and has skills to interact socially with people. Though, I saw that he likes to stay alone and matters of the others, he doesn't ignore anyone who asks for his help. My team likes him more than me, with the exception of Sasuke. When they were waiting for me, he had started teaching my team tree climbing technique. They will be done by tomorrow. He is calm, collected and doesn't let his emotions leak out. During introduction, I actually sounded more secretive than him, a pragmatic individual. And why are you wary of him? Asked Hokage. Because it shouldn't be like that, continued Kakashi. A ninja raised by Danzoo is always more like a trained dummy, no emotions whatsoever. But he is an exception. His dream is glory of Konoha, which you know was the motto of Root NBU. Always thinking one step ahead for everything. If anything, I would say he is Danzoo's successor, concluded Kakashi. Hiruzen let out a sigh and turned on his chair to see the Hokage monument from his office window. He focused his gaze on carved faces of other Hokage, mainly the fourth, and thought how he had failed their legacy, their blood. How he had failed a father, and didn't keep up a promise to protect his son. How he had failed his own students and let Danzoo raise Naruto, despite their pleadings. Naruto had sacrificed so much since his birth, all for the village, and the village doesn't want to trust him back, and he himself doesn't trust him back. That is a burden of being a Hokage. The village comes first. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. He will have treat Naruto as a potential threat till he doesn't figure him out, even if he doesn't like it. He turned his chair back towards Kakashi and spoke his orders. Keep an eye on him when he is training with the team or is on missions with them. I have also asked the other Jounin sensei to do the same. He already has ANBU trailing him. Let him mix with the team more. The more we know about him, the better. Also, you will fight him to check his skills after the Genin exam. I will be there to watch you. Even though I hate saying this, Naruto is still a potential threat to the village. Dismissed. Hi. Hokage-sama, said Kakashi as he left with a Shunshin. Training Ground 7, Konoha. Next day, Naruto found himself walking on the road towards Training Ground 7 early in the morning for Genin test. Though Kakashi had asked them to report at 7 a.m., he knew that the silver-haired Jounin won't report before 10 a.m. Then the thoughts about the activities he did the previous day came to his mind. Even though his peer group was weaker than he thought, the day itself was exciting. Talking with them, training with them, messing with them, especially with the Uchiha, he liked it all. While training with the Root and even during the Guardian Ninja days, he had never met any from his age group with whom he could hold a successful conversation, which had led to less socializing during those years. He was happy that his own age group was accepting him, albeit slowly. As he reached the training ground, he saw the 3 Genin sitting near the 3 wooden target poles near a small river. Kiba was sleeping with his back against one pole with Akamaru, who was sleeping on his head. Sasuke was sitting with brooding expression and red eyes, clearly not a morning person. Sakura was sitting beside Sasuke and was stealing glances of her brooding crush, her small chakra signature almost dancing. "Ohio, good morning, Team 7. Greeted Naruto with plain voice and very small smile, as he made his presence known. "Ohio, Naruto-sensei." Greeted Sakura and Kiba with lazy voice. "Wharf," barked Akamaru. "Humph," grunted Sasuke. "So, are you ready for the test?" inquired Naruto. "Hi, sensei. We will rock the exam and become Genin," cheered Kiba, as he raised his fist in the air. "Good. Is anyone interested in some warm-up exercise?" asked Naruto, thinking about getting to know them better. "I am in, sensei," shouted Kiba, jumping up. "Humph," grunted Sasuke, as he too stood up. "I don't want to exercise and get all sweaty and stinky in front of Sasuke-kun, but if don't go then he will think that I am lazy," thought Sakura as she too stood up slowly. "Alright then, sprint 10 rounds around the training area, follow me," instructed Naruto as he ran off. The team was dumbfounded with Naruto's speed, but the boys shook themselves out and quickly followed the trail. Sakura just stood there for a minute before slowly following her teammates. "What have I gotten myself into?" she cursed inwardly. 1 hour later, Team 7 could be seen sprawled on the grassy earth, breathing heavily. After finishing the sprinting in 15 minutes, 25 minutes for Sakura, Naruto had run them through various stretching and warm-up exercises. "You did good, Team 7. said Naruto. "Rest up and let's wait for Hataki-san," he said, taking out his book on sealing to read. Getting her breath, Sakura sat up and looked at the blonde Jounin, or particularly at the book he was reading. After getting free the previous day, she had gone to the library and read books about the skills for ninja and clans of Konoha. Sealing was particularly related to the art of Fuinjutsu. She had yet to decide in which field she wanted to excel. "Naruto-sensei," asked Sakura, "what is your ninja type?" "What do you mean, Haruno-san?" asked Naruto, looking out of his book. "Yesterday, after we got free, I went to library to know about ninja type. They said there are many types of ninja. Some are ninjutsu specialists, some are iryujutsu, medical techniques, taijutsu, genjutsu, and many more. It also said that various ninja clans have specific speciality too," said Sakura. "That is good, Haruno-san. What did the book tell about Inuzuka clan?" asked Naruto, closing his book. Hearing about Inuzuka, Kiba suddenly perked up. Sasuke too sat up wanting to know more about the noisy mutt and the cursed Senju. "Sensei, it said that members of Inuzuka clan are known to work with Niken and specialize in tracking and taijutsu skills," said Sakura in a practiced manner. Kiba, hearing the description, nodded in approval, Akamaru barking in tow. Sasuke just grunted and looked away. "That's correct. What about the Uchiha clan?" inquired Naruto. Sasuke smirked, wanting to listen to the greatness of his clan. Sakura, wanting to impress Sasuke, almost recited, "The Uchiha clan is famous for their powerful chakra, strong techniques and the Kekai Genkai bloodline limit, the Sharingan. They specialize in anything combat-related and lean strongly towards fire-release nature. Because of strong battle prowess, many ninja flee rather than facing an Uchiha." Hearing about his clan, Sasuke's smirk was bathing in superiority complex. Kiba was outright glaring at Sasuke, almost wanting to rip off his smile. Sakura looked quite happy that she was able to impress his crush. Naruto wanted to laugh and piss off the Uchiha but controlled his emotions better, and let only a small smile adorn his face. "That's correct, Haruno-san. Uchiha clan is a very strong clan. But not every Uchiha acquire the Sharingan," said Naruto with straight face, but his gaze focused on Sasuke. "Due to the harsh natural process to awaken it, very few Uchiha actually manifested Sharingan," continued Naruto, his voice filled with mocking hostility. Now seething in anger, Sasuke jumped at Naruto in order to punch him, but his fist was caught by Naruto before it could reach the target. Now Uchiha-san, don't take out the anger for your inability to awaken Sharingan on me," Your brother got them when he was 8. You might awaken them too, sooner or later, said Naruto. Hearing about his traitorous brother and his achievements rekindled the anger in Sasuke from the Uchiha massacre night. Kawarimi no Jutsu, substitution technique, said Sasuke as he replaced himself with a wooden log. Sensing someone behind him, Naruto turned around and found Sasuke standing near the stream of river. Naruto just raised an eyebrow as Sasuke quickly formed hand seals to mold chakra. Tiger Ram Monkey Boar Horse Tiger Katon, Gokaki no Jutsu, Fire Release, Great Fireball Technique. As a huge fireball approached Naruto and the rest of Team 7 behind him, before a scream escaped Sakura's mouth, Naruto formed a quick dog seal and whispered, Doton, Dorihiki, Earth Release, Earth-style wall. A mud wall rose up between the fireball and Naruto and stopped the incoming fireball. Sakura's scream never escaped her mouth. Lowering the wall, Naruto found Sasuke having a perplexed look on his face. How strong is he? I didn't even see him going through hand seals or speak the jutsu name, thought Sasuke. You could have hurt your teammates with your baseless anger, Uchiha, said Naruto, with an edge in his voice as he suddenly disappeared and reappeared behind Sasuke using a Shunshin. Before Sasuke could turn around, Naruto took out a chakra-suppressing seal from his kunai pouch and stuck it on Sasuke's head. Due to sudden loss of chakra in his body, Sasuke fell on the ground and fainted. Sasuke Kyuin shouted Sakura, as she ran towards the unconscious Uchiha but was stopped by Naruto. Leave him, Harino-san. I have just sealed his chakra, otherwise he could have injured you both. Don't worry, I will release it when Hatake-san arrives, and we can hold our previous discussion to some other time, said Naruto, with a plain yet intimidating voice. Hi-sensei, mumbled Sakura as she sat back on the ground. Kiba, who was quiet during the entire scene, suddenly jumped and shouted, Thank you, Kami, for giving me exclusive rights from my class to watch and enjoy Uchiha Imo as getting his ass kicked by Naruto-sensei. I don't know how I should repay you. Naruto watched in amusement as Akamaru too started doing dance around Kiba. Kakashi arrived at training ground 3 hours after the scheduled time. Usually, he came late during meetings because he spent too much time in front of the memorial stone remembering the close ones he lost and reliving the guilt. But today, he was late because he was practicing for today's spar with Naruto till late night and overslept. During his ANBU days, he had worked greatly with Tanto but had stopped using it after he left ANBU. His father's, Hatake Sakumo, signature Tanto was destroyed during the Third Shinobi War, but he had it repaired later. Seeing Naruto carrying a Wazakashi on his back, he wanted to oil up his Kenjutsu skills. Arriving at the meeting point, Kakashi was greeted with rather unique sight. Kiba and Akamaru were sleeping peacefully under a tree. Sakura was sitting beside Kiba, holding her knees near her chest and was taking regular glances of her crush's face, who was sprawled on the ground in front of her. Near them, the earth looked burned up. Figuring something bad happened with the Uchiha, he looked around for any signs of blonde special jounin but found none. Lost something, Hatake-san? Came a voice from behind. Turning around, with a hand on his Tanto, Kakashi found himself staring in the blue-slit eyes of the said blonde jounin. Naruto was crouching on the branch behind him, his sealing book closed in his hand. Where did he come from? I didn't even sense him here, thought Kakashi, his visible eye widened. Did something happen here, Naruto-san? Asked Kakashi. Nothing much, Hatake-san, said Naruto, opening his book. Uchiha-san just got too excited during team warm-up exercises and almost killed his teammates. I had to suppress his chakra using seal. He continued. Hatake wanted to argue back for harming one of his students, but hearing that Sasuke almost killed his other 2 students, he didn't mouth his words. Fair enough, please remove the seal off Sasuke so that I can start with their test, said Kakashi, making it clear that only he will conduct the genin test. Naruto bore his draconian eyes on Kakashi for a moment before he shunshin to Sasuke and peeled off the seal. Seeing Sasuke stir, Sakura and Kiba stood up. Sitting up straight, Sasuke found himself staring in the blue-slit eyes that he had come to despise recently. As the memories of his sudden defeat came back, he clenched his fist and jumped at Naruto to strike him, but his fist was stopped by Kakashi. Alright Hatake-san, I take my leave, said Naruto as turned around to leave. Before he could leave using a shunshin, Kakashi called him from behind. Wait, Naruto-san. Let's have a spar after the test. Shall we? Sure, I'll be around, said Naruto as he disappeared with a puff of smoke. So what happened here? Asked Kakashi authoritatively as he turned to face genin members of Team 7. He kept holding to Sasuke's fist as Sakura and Kiba dictated the incident. He knew that Naruto had purposely taunted Sasuke, but the way Sasuke reacted was way too reckless. He should have failed the team right away because of his Sasuke's actions, but the stubborn council members are forcing him to pass and train the last loyal Uchiha. The way you acted was careless. Acting without thinking properly is unbecoming for a ninja. I could have failed you right away, but Sakura and Kiba shouldn't suffer because of you, said Kakashi as he released Sasuke from his grip. As we have wasted enough time already, said Kakashi, ignoring others' sweat drop expression. Let's start with the test, he said as he took out 2 bells from his kunai pouch. What are they for, Kakashi-sensei? Asked Kiba as his stomach growled due to hunger. Giving an eye smile, Kakashi spoke, "This is a bell test. I have 2 bells with me. You have time till noon to take these from me. Those who takes them will pass and can eat lunch I have brought with me. The genin without the bell by the end of the time will be tied to the pole and first see his or her teammates eating lunch, and then will sent back to the academy." "That's cruel, Kakashi-sensei," mumbled Sakura as her stomach growled too. She didn't even have dinner the previous night because of dieting. "Well then, let's start with the test," said Kakashi, as he tied the bells to his waist. Hajime. Naruto took his seat on one of the branch of tree in the training ground to watch the events in the exam unfold. As soon as the exam started, all genin ran and quickly hid in the nearby trees. At least they know when and how to hide, thought Naruto, even though he could sense them easily. Kiba's chakra was too excited along with Akamaru, typically wild in Izuka. Sasuke's chakra emotions were controlled, but there was again some anger and malice stuck with it. They looked almost glued to it. And Sakura was too tensed and scared. A book type perhaps. And with her advanced chakra control and intelligence level she could become a good Irionin, thought Naruto. Only an hour had left, and nobody had shifted from their hiding place. Hatake had sit under a tree and was leisurely reading his orange smut. Naruto saw Kakashi shifting a bit as he left his body under the left arm till the waist unguarded from any attack from behind the tree. A bait. Hatake-san is getting bored. Now who will buy this among the 3, thought Naruto as he turned his attention towards the 3 genin. All 3 have seen Kakashi's unguarded position and were contemplating their move. Sure enough, there was a rustling in the bushes where Kiba was hiding with Akamaru and a spinning vortex shot of it, heading straight for Kakashi. Tsuga, passing Fong. Naruto saw the attack hitting Kakashi head-on, tearing through it, only for Kakashi to poof into a wood log. Kawarimi no Jutsu, substitution technique, fooling fresh academy graduates with an academy-level technique. That's reasonable, thought Naruto. Where did he go?" shouted Kiba as he looked left and right. Akamaru jumped out of his jacket and started sniffing around. Kiba too, using the Shikyaku no Jutsu, for legs technique, followed Akamaru's lead. "Whip! Whip!" barked Akamaru. "What do you mean I cannot smell him anywhere?" "He is somewhere around here," replied Kiba as he continued searching the silver-haired jounin. After 2 minutes Kiba too stood up, his search fruitless. "You are right. He seemed to have disappeared. If he is not around us or above us, then where is he?" asked Kiba. Suddenly, Kiba's eyes widened as the earth under his feet rumbled a bit. "Oh shit! Akamaru, jump!" shouted Kiba. The ground under his feet erupted and the jounin jumped out at Kiba, his hands positioned in tiger seal. Akamaru was lucky, but Kiba was hit by the strange attack that followed. Everyone in the ground had their eyes widened in shock and disgust when Kakashi inserted his pointed fingers into Kiba's ass, propelling him like a rocket. "Senin Goroshi, 1,000 years of death." "Aha!" shouted Kiba, holding his buttocks as he fell face down into the flowing stream. Akamaru barked in worry as it ran to Kiba to check on him. A strange and unconventional technique, but must be painful with the chakra Hatake-san used, reasoned Naruto. And if instead of fingers, user uses a kunai with an explosive tag, it could result into a lethal hit at a blind spot. "What is Kakashi-sensei doing?" thought Sakura, hidden in the bushes. "I think he is a pedophile, interested in little boys," reasoned inner Sakura. "Do you think he might do that to Sasuke-kun?" thought Sakura worriedly. "Cha! We can't have him defile our Sasuke-kun now, can we?" thought inner Sakura, cracking her knuckles. Strengthening her will to protect her crush, Sakura jumped out of her hiding place to ambush Kakashi, who was still standing in his pointed fingers pose. As she neared him to punch, Kakashi's body dispersed into leaves as soon as she made a contact with him. The leaves began spinning around her and completely enveloped her body. "Help me! Sasuke-kun! Help me!" shouted Sakura, but found her shouts muffled because of leaves covering her mouth. She continued to struggle for some time before the leaves fell off. Falling to her knees, she quickly tried to regain her breath. "What the hell was that? I thought that I was going to die. What the hell have I gotten myself into?" thought Sakura. "And me too. But we are safe." "And where did Kakashi-sensei go?" reasoned inner Sakura. Her answer came as she heard screaming, which definitely sounded like Sasuke, from deep within the woods. "Oh no! Sasuke-kun!" she shouted as she ran in the woods. Naruto saw from afar how Kakashi had ensnared Sakura in a genjutsu when she came in to punch him. He had thought that she was smart enough to detect such a low-level genjutsu. But because of fear riding over her emotions, she had fallen right into the trap laid by Kakashi. Sakura quickly ran through the woods towards the source of the scream. As she neared a small clearing, she saw Sasuke lying face down on the ground with a kunai sticking out of his ass, screaming out in pain. "Sasuke-kun!" screamed Sakura, as she ran towards her injured crush, tears threatening to fall off her eyes. She quickly sat near Sasuke's head and tried to put his head on her lap. "Please don't die, Sasuke-kun! Please don't leave me!" she cried. "Sakura! Help me! Please take the kunai out!" cried Sasuke. Nodding her head, she looked towards the target of Kakashi's kunai. She had secretly checked out Sasuke's ass many times in the past few years, but this was the time she didn't want to look at it. Her trembling hands slowly gripped the handle of the kunai, as she tried to pull out the weapon. "Aha!" screamed Sasuke as the kunai was ripped out of his ass. Blood gushed out the wound and drenched Sakura's hands. Sakura saw Sasuke's eyes slowly closing because of the blood loss and became unconscious. "Sasuke-kun! Sasuke-kun, wake up! Don't leave me!" cried Sakura as she tried to shake Sasuke up. Getting no response, Sakura assumed the worst possible case. "Sasuke-kun!" she shouted last time before she fainted. "Looks like the status of the best is handed out to anybody at the academy," mumbled Naruto to himself as he turned his attention to the last genin member of the Team 7. Sasuke just grunted as he heard Sakura shouting his name again. He was having a headache ever since he woke up, and now Sakura's screams were just increasing the pressure up on his head. "Aya! Why is she screaming now? Stupid, annoying girl. At least good riddance from her, and the stupid mutt," he thought as he looked at the clearing from one of the tree branches. He was looking at his silver-haired team instructor who was leisurely sitting and reading an orange book under the shade of a tree. His other teammates had been taken down, and now he had one good chance to prove that he and the Uchiha clan were not to be taken lightly. Seeing that Kakashi wasn't moving from his place, Sasuke took out 3 shurikens and threw them towards the Jonin. It surprised him a bit that Kakashi didn't provide any resistance when all 3 shuriken hit him. His question was answered when Kakashi suddenly poofed to be a wooden log. "Huh! Kawarimi no Jutsu, substitution technique?" But when did he? Before Sasuke could complete his thought process, a tanto was placed near his neck by Kakashi from behind. Seeing the danger, Sasuke quickly formed a hand sign and substituted himself with the same wooden log Kakashi used. "At least he is a competent genin," thought Kakashi. "Let's see what else can he do." Kakashi's instincts suddenly went off, sensing an attack coming towards him. Turning around, he came face to face with a large fireball. Acting quickly, Kakashi shunshin himself out of the fireball range, leaving the nearby trees to bear the brunt of the attack. His skills are already that of a chunin. No genin could have chakra capacity to perform such a technique, thought Kakashi. Looking towards the source of the attack, he saw Sasuke rushing towards him with an intent to battle hand to hand. Let's see how the Rookie of the Year fare in taijutsu, thought Kakashi, as he intercepted a right hook attack with his left arm. Using that as a pivot, Sasuke jumped to deliver a left leg kick on Kakashi's masked face but was caught by Kakashi's free right hand. Before Sasuke could free himself, Kakashi slammed his both hand palms in Sasuke's stomach, sending him tumbling back. Quickly regaining his bearing, Sasuke took out a kunai and went in for an attack again. Seeing the kunai, Kakashi unsheathed the tanto strapped on his back and parried away the first strike aimed towards his right shoulder. They both kept themselves engaged in the combat for 5 minutes. Getting frustrated, Sasuke suddenly stroked Kakashi with an upper slash, leaving Kakashi no time to defend. Sensing danger, Kakashi stretched his hands upwards as he attempted a back somersault but left the bells around his waist unguarded. Sasuke tried to take benefit of the situation, but was only able to brush the bells with his fingers as Kakashi's foot struck him in the chin. Both were sent tumbling away from each other. As they stood up to strike each other again, they were stopped by the sound of the alarm bell ring signifying the end of the test. "Sasuke is good. Even though I wasn't trying hard, he pushed me quite a bit. I almost lost the bells for a moment. But he didn't incorporate teamwork in this test. In fact, none of the 3 did. I think I have to fail them," thought Kakashi. He saw Sasuke grumbling to himself. Kiba came to them holding his butt, groaning at every step. Akamaru was walking beside him with a sad look on its face. Sakura was nowhere to be seen. Kakashi was about to leave to find her when, with a puff of smoke, Naruto appeared beside him carrying an unconscious Sakura bridal style. He slowly kept her down and applied Iriajutsu, medical ninjutsu, to her forehead. After a few seconds, she suddenly woke up with a start. "Sasuke-kun!" she screamed, as she tried to shake herself off Naruto's strong grip. Seeing the need of an explanation, Kakashi walked up to her and placed his hand on her shoulder to calm her down. Seeing Kakashi's face and remembering what happened earlier with Kiba and Sasuke, she shook Kakashi's hand off her shoulder and tried to hide herself behind the crouched Naruto, who was watching everything with mild amusement. "Get away from me!" she cried. "You defiled and killed Sasuke-kun." "Nothing like that happened, Sakura," explained Kakashi, with an eye smile. "What you saw out there happening to Sasuke was all genjutsu. A very basic technique." Sakura's eyes widened hearing this. Sasuke was alive and still chaste. Looking around, she saw him sitting near the wooden log, all angry and brooding. Before she could figure out the reason of his behavior, Kakashi's last words caught her attention. "It is a shame, really. Even after being the top kunoichi of the year in the academy with great chakra control, you couldn't even sense a basic C-rank genjutsu," said Kakashi. Sakura lowered her head with shame. Kakashi's head then turned towards Kiba, who somehow had managed to sit on the ground, albeit in a weird position. "Kiba, you were too reckless and attacked head-on. You are trained to be a ninja. Try not to attack head-on. And work with your team," said Kakashi. Kiba, hearing this, could only groan and look away. "And Sasuke," said Kakashi, getting the attention of the brooding Uchiha, "you need to learn to work with your team. No matter how hard you try, you had no chance to defeat me." Your skills are noteworthy but you lack experience. Unable to hide his anger, Sasuke pointed his finger towards Naruto. Then what about him, Kakashi-sensei? Asked Sasuke. He is also as old as me. Why is he a Jounin and I a Genin? Naruto raised an eyebrow at the question. He decided to give a blow to the Uchiha pride. Before Kakashi could reply, Naruto spoke up. I became a Genin when I was 5 and I have been doing missions since then. And I have quality experience to back up my skills, so don't go around challenging and pointing fingers at someone who is way ahead of you. Replied Naruto with a cold edge in his voice. Team 7 except their sensei could only stare at him in bewilderment. They couldn't imagine someone so young being this skilled. While Kakashi gave Naruto a calculative look, he is a true prodigy. I have to be careful in our next spar, thought Kakashi. He quickly pulled himself out of his thoughts and turned towards his team. Alright, Team 7. Since you failed to take the bells from me, you all fail, declared Kakashi. Now you can all go back to the academy and think about the reason of your failure. All 3 genin had a betrayed look on their faces. Naruto was amused by the fact that the team containing the top students of the academy had failed miserably. He knew if they went back to academy, they won't learn anything new than they already knew. Sakura might decide to quit being a ninja and go back to civilian life, but the boys of the Team 7 were quite arrogant and prideful to quit. Also, Naruto knew about Kakashi, who was being pressurized by the council elders to pass and tutor the last loyal Uchiha. So he decided to help the genin before it was too late. Hataki-san, I don't think they performed badly enough for you to fail them. With little assistance, I think they can become quite formidable, said Naruto. But Naruto, they didn't even perform together. They know nothing about teamwork, retorted Kakashi. What do you expect from fresh genin, Hataki-san? They can't be flawless on their first task as a team, replied Naruto. If you would have given them some guidance before beginning the test, I know they would have performed better. The genin were cheering for Naruto in their minds, even Sasuke. They could see a glint of hope in Naruto's argument. What do you suggest then, Naruto? Asked Kakashi. Now that we are going to have a spar, let's place a bet. If I am able to remove the mask off your face within an hour, Team 7 passes. If I lose, Team 7 loses, and also I will give you one A-rank Doton technique I created. Kakashi saw Naruto with a calculative gaze. He couldn't see any hidden motive. The stakes were high. He didn't believe that he could lose to a wet behind-the-ear Jounin, where he was a full Jounin for so long. Also with an A-rank technique, the bet was not worth rejecting. Alright then. I accept your challenge. Don't run away if you lose the bet, said Kakashi, cracking his knuckles. You don't need to worry about that, said Naruto as he created a Kage Bunshin to act as a proctor, creating distance from Team 7, who were sitting near the wooden logs. The 2 Jounins stood facing each other. Naruto slowly unsheathed his Wazakashi as Kakashi took out his Tanto from his back. Even from distance, the genin could feel the pressure of the battle. Both took their respective stances as they waited for the proctor to give the signal. The Kage Bunshin stood between them as it checked both competitors. This spar will last 1 hour. Everything except killing and maiming is allowed. The battle will end when the time limit is up or when either of the competitor has given up or fallen unconscious. Are both the competitors ready? Asked the Bunshin. Both Naruto and Kakashi gave a subtle nod as they tightened their grip around their weapons. 3, 2, 1 Hajime, Hokage's office. Hiruzen was excited. Even though there was tons of paperwork lying on his desk, waiting to be reviewed by him. Reason being, new genin teams were joining Konoha's forces that day. New generation always thrilled the old Kage. They will be new torchbearers of the will of fire, which had guided Konoha in the times of war and peace. They were always meant to surpass the older generations, and the prospect of watching new heroes rise always excited Hiruzen. There was also a secondary reason for his excitement. One of his top Jounin and a student of the 4th Hokage, Hataki Kakashi, was about to fight with the Senju heir. His rival Danzoo, who never commended anyone easily, had literally sung praises of Naruto. According to what he had been told, Naruto was a prodigy in the League of Uchiha Itachi, or even better than him. Though Naruto's repertoire was unique and versatile, Hiruzen would bet on his silver-haired Jounin today. Wasting no time, Hiruzen quickly lit up his tobacco pipe, took out the crystal ball from one of the desk drawer and focused it on Training Ground 7, where the 2 said Jounins were standing in their respective Kenjutsu stances, waiting for the proctor clone to begin. Training Ground 7. All genin of Team 7 were holding their breaths. The duel between their Jounin sensei would decide their career as a ninja. Being new, they had never seen a true one-on-one shinobi fight. Of course they had few practical sparring sessions themselves in the academy, but they knew that this fight would be way more epic. Sasuke was intrigued and was cursing himself for not having a Sharingan to copy some moves for his own training. Kakashi was taking deep, controlled breaths as he readied his stance for the duel. Though he believed in his abilities and experience, and not wanting to use his implanted Sharingan, he was having a weird gut feeling for this fight. Being a child prodigy himself, he also felt excited about fighting someone like him. He was already planning to pass his team through some other tests, but this way was fine too. Also, high stakes of this duel was a plus along with the analysis of Naruto's skills for the Hokage and himself. Hajime! Shouted the clone proctor. As soon as the announcement went off, The two opponents ran towards each other with the intent of first hit. To the genin audience, they seemed like a blur. One moment, they were standing 20 meters apart, the next moment, they were at arm's length. Being the shorter opponent, Naruto did an overhead block to the downward slash of Kakashi's Tanto. Kakashi kept the force in his attack to push down Naruto. Seeing his disadvantage, Naruto quickly raised his right knee to perform a front kick with textbook perfection, hitting Kakashi in his stomach. Kakashi grunted before bursting with a puff of smoke. Sensing danger from back, Naruto quickly crouched to prevent Kakashi from stabbing him in his shoulder, and performed a rear spinning low kick and sent Kakashi spinning away. Konoha Reppu, Leaf Gale. Kakashi somehow managed to balance himself in the air and landed on his feet. That kick was hard and fast. It's hard to stand straight with my right leg injured, thought Kakashi. He uses the same attacking style as Guy. So you use Goken, strong first, huh? One of my Jonin friend uses the same style, said Kakashi. Might Guy, Konoha's taijutsu specialist, added Naruto, with neutral emotion, so you know him. He likes challenges. He would love to spar with you. You are pretty good. Those two kicks were perfectly done. I think I would need to go full on, said Kakashi as he removed the headband from his left eye, showing the three-tomo Sharingan to the world. What the hell is that red eye? Shouted Kiba. That's the Sharingan, Kibabaka. The famed dojutsu of the Uchiha clan. One of the legendary 3 dojutsu. But why does Kakashi-sensei have it? Asked Sakura, her head turning towards the last member of the said clan. Instead of receiving cool comments from her crush, she saw Sasuke scowling at Kakashi and leaking killer intent, making her shift a bit away from him. How does Kakashi have Sharingan? Why wasn't I told before about it? Brooded Sasuke, his first tight. Back in the fight, both fighters got back in their respective kenjutsu stances. Kakashi's Sharingan analyzed its opponent and tried to perceive his moves. Both ninjas dashed again to clash with each other. Sparks erupted as the two weapons met each other. They both continued their attack for 20 minutes. Where Kakashi's attacks were based more on speed, Naruto used strength to counter any attack his opponent sent towards him. Man, they are so fast. I could only see the blurs and sparks when they clash with each other, said Kiba, both him and Sakura trying to follow their movement. They are so strong. I need to be stronger than them to defeat him, mused Sasuke. Kakashi was impressed. Even though he had an upper hand when the fight had started, he was slowly losing ground to Naruto's strength-based attacks. His arms were numb from countering Naruto. He planned to up this battle to gain the edge over Naruto and stated channeling chakra into his Tanto, making it glow white. Naruto had only read about Hataki Tsukumo, the famed Konoha's white fang, and his use of Hako Chakura II, white light chakra saber, which made him famous during the Second Shinobi War. It was quite fascinating to see the move used by the same man's son in person. He wanted to analyze the strength of that attack. As Kakashi swung down Tanto, a streak of white chakra followed the strike. Naruto managed to block the swing, but the white chakra had hit him directly on the torso, which made him step back a bit, and gave him a large cut from his left shoulder to just above his stomach. Naruto-sensei! Shouted Sakura. She had never imagined a spar would go this far. In academy, spar got over before anybody got seriously hurt, and that hit on her young sensei looked fatal. Kiba and Sasuke were shocked too with the level of fight going on right now. They forgot to look at Kakashi, who too looked unfocused and distraught from the look of his eyes. From the level of skills that Naruto had displayed, he could have easily dodged this attack. Since their spar had begun, they both had been trying to attack each other on the key points of the body. And that attack was very close to the heart. Before he could sink further down his sorrow and start blaming himself for Naruto's condition, a sudden blur moved towards him, and there was a cut on his mask, from under his right eye till his jawline, so skillful that it didn't even cut the skin. Kakashi's eyes widened as he turned to look at his assailant, just to find Naruto standing with his wazukashi in right hand. His healed torso was completely visible from the cut of his blue Jonin jacket. How has he healed so quickly? Is this because of Kyuubi? Thought Kakashi as he slowly regained his focus. How is Naruto-sensei moving around with that sort of wound? Shouted Kiba, eyes too wide to shut down. Don't you see that? His wound is completely healed. And how is that even possible? Screeched Sakura. What trickery is this? How is that Senju even doing it? Gritted Sasuke. You should focus more on the spar, Kakashi-san. Such careless and unfocused attitude is unbecoming for the copy ninja Kakashi, said Naruto as he sheathed back his wazukashi. What do you say? Should we move on to ninjutsu? All right, said Kakashi, as he sheathed back his blade. At the click of the blade going back in its sheath, both ninjas dashed towards each other. Naruto shook his right hand and threw 2 shuriken, which seemingly appeared from nowhere, towards Kakashi and quickly performed few hand signs. Shuriken Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, Shuriken Shadow Clone Technique. 2 shuriken became 200, all charging towards Kakashi. He quickly took action and slapped both his hands on the ground after forming few hand signs. Doton, Doryahiki, Earth Release, Earth-style wall. A big, brick-structured wall composed of bulldog sculptures now stood in front of Kakashi blocking the shuriken attack. Sensing the chakra from beneath the ground, Naruto quickly took guard and did a back somersault to escape the hands which came out of the ground. Seeing his attack fail, Kakashi quickly came out of the ground and started forming hand seals along with gathering Katon chakra in his lungs. Forming the last tiger seal, Kakashi released the chakra in the form of small and unpredictable fireballs. Katon, Hozenka no Jutsu, Fire Release, Phoenix Flower Jutsu. Because of the unpredictable nature of the fireballs, Naruto decided to face them head-on rather than dodge it. Forming Tiger Seal on the right and Snake Seal on the left hand, Naruto started flicking away the fireballs which came his way, neutralizing them with the chakra gathered on his hands. How is he flicking away the fire? I want to learn that. Then I will show Sasuke team who's the boss, shouted Kiba, his eyes burning with excitement. So he is gathering Suten chakra in his left hand and Doton chakra on his right to defuse my attack. Analyzed Kakashi, using his Sharingan. That requires very precise chakra control. And he can do 2 nature manipulations at such a young age. I wonder how he became this good with his chakra with the amount he has. He looks like a miniature son to the Sharingan. Having enough with being on back foot, Naruto formed a tiger hand seal and channeled his chakra into the ground towards Kakashi. Doton, Doryu Taiga, Earth Release, Earth Flow River. Kakashi quickly jumped away on the ground as he felt a spike of chakra from beneath him. Instead of landing on a hard ground, his feet got stuck in a river of mud, almost making him lose his balance. Not waiting for Kakashi to recover, Naruto quickly formed 3 more hand signs and fired his chakra. Doton, Doryuden, Earth Release, Earth Dragon Bomb. He doesn't even look winded after using such chakra-taxing technique. Mused Kakashi. Naruto-sensei is so cool, you guys, shouted Kiba with starry eyes. A huge dragon-like head rose from the mud river and fired mud bullets towards Kakashi. To hasten up the attack, Naruto formed fast hand seals and released yet another jutsu. Futon de Tapa, Wind Release, Great Breakthrough. Wind Release? He is capable of using 3 of them? But I should better do something before I get hit by this combination. I cannot even see the earth bombs without using Sharingan, thought Kakashi. The powerful gust released by the wind made the earth bullets blindingly fast. As the attack hit home, impaling Kakashi where he was standing, Naruto knew that it couldn't be that easy. When the attack stopped, Naruto saw that there was a mud clone in place of Kakashi. Sensing a sudden chakra spike from behind, Naruto turned around and saw Kakashi, standing on the river, performing the last hand seals of a jutsu he clearly knew about. Suiton, Suryuden no Jutsu, Water Release, Water Dragon Bullet Technique. The amount of water present around Kakashi quickly took shape of a giant dragon which charged towards Naruto. Sensing the impeding danger and nowhere to dodge the attack, Naruto molded water chakra in his body and expelled a huge torrent of water out of his mouth to barricade the coming dragon attack. Suiton, Suijinchu, Water Release, Water Formation Pillar. With the amount of water expelled by Naruto, the dragon jutsu of Kakashi was easily overpowered and flooded the river. Kakashi stumbled back seeing his high-level jutsu being overpowered so easily. And from the look of things, Kakashi's chakra was almost over because of all the dodging he did using Sharingan, and Naruto didn't even look winded. The combination attack Naruto did earlier could have badly injured him if it was not for his Sharingan. He could only think of one logical idea. I forfeit, said Kakashi. Winner by forfeit, Senju Naruto, shouted the Proctor clone from his position before bursting up. Naruto's lips curved up from the sides as he saw Kakashi slowly walking towards him and covering his left eye. He could not sense much chakra in him, and knew that the elder Jonin was about to faint. He performed few hand seals and returned the ground back to its former glory and pushed the water back to the river. It didn't even look like there was any spar there. You all can come out now, shouted Naruto, looking at the trees. A group of ninjas, namely Sarutobi Asuma, Yuhi Kurenai and Might Guy jumped out of the tress. How long have they been here? Questioned Sakura. Team 7 Genin were still dazed from the fight. They had forgotten to check the extra company they got during the spar. They have been since the spar began. Seems like you had pre-planned this event, Kakashi-san, replied Naruto, as he turned to face the dog-tired Jounin, standing on his last legs. Sighing, Naruto took out a small paper seal from his kunai pouch and unsealed it. Inside of it were 3 small tablets, with some dull green material swirling inside them. He took one out, presented it to Kakashi, who was looking at it curiously. Eat it. I made it myself. It will return your body to full power, and then some, said Naruto. Kakashi was doubtful. He looked around to check the expressions of those gathered around them. His genin were looking confused. The Jounins looked apprehensive, their hands creeping slowly towards their weapon pouches. Looking back at Naruto in his blue, slit eyes for some sign of honesty or lie, he found none. What's the worst that could happen, thought Kakashi, as he took the tablet and put it into his mouth. At the first crunch, the feeling of euphoria washed over him. It eased his bodily pain, cured his injuries and started filling his empty chakra reserves and left a flavor of peppermint in the mouth. What is this thing? My wounds are healed and my chakra is replenished too. I feel great. Rather better than great, said Kakashi. The Jounins and Anbu relaxed their posture. The result in Kakashi's state was clearly visible. He stood straight, didn't look worn out. Then suddenly, Kakashi stumbled a bit, making everyone vigilant again. What's happening? My body is one fire, said Kakashi, as he fell on his knees. How exactly are you feeling? Asked Naruto nonchalantly, ignoring the glares and weapons pointed at him. Like I have opened Hashimen, the 8 gates. 5 of them, replied Kakashi hoarsely. So my assumption was correct, concluded Naruto. Alright Kakashi-san, please keep your Sharingan open for the rest of the day, you will feel fine. Once Kakashi compiled the request, he felt a little better as the dojutsu started draining the excess chakra. As Naruto neared his hand towards Kakashi's face to check his temple, a green blur passed the gathering heading towards Naruto. Dynamic entry. Naruto raised his left arm just to block an oncoming jump kick aimed for his face. Looking around the kick, Naruto immediately recognized the bowl-cut hairstyle of the attacker. What is going on now? Shouted Sakura, holding her head. Even the rest of her team was shocked at the speed the above-mentioned even happened. What is the meaning of this, Gai-san? Asked Naruto monotonously. Attacking a fellow Konohanin outside a spar is a serious offense. Sensing danger, Naruto backed away before he was attacked by a pair of trench knives from the right. You too, Asuma-san? Accused Naruto, as a cut appeared on Naruto's right cheek. Everyone present there saw the cut disappearing as soon as it appeared. Before Naruto could continue speaking, a tree grew out behind him and trapped him in its coil-like branches. Magen, Jubakusatsu, demonic illusion, tree binding death. Naruto saw his third attacking shinobi, or rather a red-eyed kunoichi, emerging out like one of the branches and held out a kunai to his throat. What were you going to do to Kakashi? Tell us now! Interrogated Kurenai, pressing the kunai harder to his throat. Instead of answering, Naruto locked his blue-slit eyes to her red-ringed ones, starting a staring contest to check who's dominant. Kurenai too accepted the challenge with full fervor but soon found her efforts wavering. It was hard to look in those blue eyes of the blonde jounin. So much anger, pain and suffering was locked in those eyes, along with boundless power, enough to destroy the village within few seconds, and she was feeling some sort of satisfaction imaging that. Shaking her head to get rid of those thoughts, she found her genjutsu breaking. Concentrating back at Naruto, she found him supporting a frown on his face. Though the genjutsu application was satisfactory, the interrogation attempt was pathetic, almost insignificant. You almost started to sympathize with me, scolded Naruto. Please don't try it again in your life, Kurenai-san. Kurenai's face contorted into a snarl when she heard him criticize her skills. Feeling no remorse, she took the kunai and lodged it right into Naruto's left shoulder, shocking everyone present. Kurenai! No! Shouted Asuma, Guy and Kakashi, as they ran to stop their female ko-ninja but knew it was too late now. Naruto-sensei! Screamed Kiba and Sakura as they threw up, their mind overloaded with the blood and gore. Oddest of all was Naruto, who didn't even flinch when the kunai was embedded in his shoulder, breaking his collarbone in the process. He just tried to feel what Kurenai was feeling. She felt happy with her work but soon that was replaced by the feeling of remorse and regret as her trembling body was caught by the other present jounins. Seeing what had transpired, Naruto could do only one thing. He laughed. What began as a low, rumbling laugh soon turned into rambunctious roar. It was so loud that even the nearby trees shook. Birds and animals fled away from their homes in fear of a homing predator. Akamaru whined as he tried to hide behind Kiba's legs. It went on for 2 minutes before Naruto abruptly stopped, took the embedded kunai out of his shoulder in a swift move and threw the bloody kunai near the shaking feet of the red-eyed kunoichi. There was a loud cracking sound of bones joining together before the hole in the shoulder closed up, showing a smooth, unblemished skin. I am sorry to say that my respect for the shinobi of Konohagakure has gone down to the bare minimum, and I feel embarrassed being one of you. I am sure this is not what the first Hokage and the second Hokage had in their minds when they created this shinobi settlement, said Naruto with pity. As for the earlier explanation about Kakashi's condition, I would have told you all about it if you had simply asked. But now I would only give the description to Hokage-sama as you have showed incompetent skills as jounin. I know he is watching all this from his crystal ball. If you want, you can ask him about the details. Ignoring the crestfallen looks of the jounin faces, Naruto turned to face Team 7 who had seen the whole event turning from simple spar to a fiasco. Alright, Team 7. Sorry for all the events that transpired after the spar. And congratulations for becoming the official genin. We will meet again when Kakashi-san schedule the next meeting. Till then, see ya, said Naruto. The genin could only nod before Naruto disappeared in a swirl of leaves. They then turned to face their actual silver-haired sensei who, along with the other jounin, was removing the restraints they had put on Yuhi Kurenai. They all suddenly looked up hearing a loud bird call, which the jounin realized was the call from the Hokage. Alright Team 7, we will meet here tomorrow here at 7:30 a.m. for your first mission, said Kakashi hurriedly. Wait Kakashi-sensei. What about you? Sasuke's question was left incomplete as his sensei along with the other jounin disappeared using Shunshin no Jutsu. The Uchiha grunted for being so openly ignored. He kicked the ground in frustration before he began walking towards his empty clan house. Kiba shook himself out of his thoughts as he picked Akamaru between his coats, zip, and started walking towards his clan house, thinking about what had transpired. Being stuck on which way to go, Sakura's heart won out as she started heading with the Uchiha and pestered him with the dating questions. Hiruzen tightly gripped his tobacco pipe as he tried to settle his nerves sitting in the meeting room of the Hokage's residence. He was planning it to be a great day and had never expected such outcome. His silver-haired Jounin was sparring with the Senju heir as he had ordered. He never thought that he would lose, but he could clearly see Naruto's skill and stamina, which surpassed Kakashi. Then Naruto had given some medicine to Kakashi that replenished chakra like soldier pill but also healed the battle wounds. He was certainly very intrigued by it, and wanted to know more about it before his other Jounin attacked Naruto, despite Naruto telling them that they were committing an offense. And Kurenai's attack was so illogical, it frustrated the old Hokage the more he thought about it. So he waited for the Jounin to show up as they must have received the message by now. You called, Hokage-sama. Chorused the saluting four Jounins gathered in front of him. Taking a long drag, he began talking. Kakashi, what was going on in Training Ground 7? He asked, sounding old and angry. The Jounin gulped as Kakashi stepped forward and gave him a detailed report of what happened till the end of the spar. So you are finally an official sensei? Congratulations are in order, said the third Hokage, though his voice sounded restrained. That's well and good. What would you say about Naruto's skills? Naruto is extremely well trained, Hokage-sama. He knows what to do in a battlefield, doesn't lose his focus, and keeps his enemies or opponents on toes. His kenjutsu and taijutsu are great. And he hits hard, almost like Tsunade-sama. My arms were numb after dueling with him in kenjutsu for 10 minutes, and he has extreme control on his chakra. I have never seen anybody deflecting ninjutsu by gathering chakra in their limbs, and he has some strange healing ability along with superhuman stamina. Every wound on him heals instantly. Is this because of the Kyuubi? I have no idea. I would easily rank him as a low-S rank ninja, reported Kakashi. Replied Hiruzen, thinking about the first Hokage's ability of instant healing and regeneration. He can associate that with the Mokuton, would release, but his subordinates didn't need to know about it. So he is a sensor and can do kenjutsu, taijutsu, and ninjutsu with 3 elements, fuinjutsu, iriujutsu, and then some. That is a lot of power for a 13-year-old. As for his healing, it may be because of the Kyuubi. And you ate some tablet Naruto gave you after the fight, and you felt nauseous after eating it. What about it? How are you feeling now? I feel great, Hokage-sama. It actually overloaded my chakra pathways with too much chakra. So when Naruto asked me to keep the Sharingan open to give it some outlet, I feel great after it. I feel like keeping the eye open for all day, replied Kakashi, his red Sharingan flaring. Which brings me to the next question, what were you 3 doing there? Asked Hiruzen, from the other 3 Jounin in the room. Seeing no way out, Asuma stepped forward to answer his father's question. We wanted to see what our fellow genin instructor is capable of to get to work with him better, answered Asuma. And you decided to attack on him when he was performing checkup on Kakashi? And on what ground? Instead of Asuma, Guy thought of answering that question. Hokage-sama, we thought that he was after Kakashi's Sharingan. His hand was very near to it. And from the nature of his previous master, our reasoning was justified. Alright, I understand that you restrained him for suspicion, said the Hokage, his eyes closed and face turning towards Kurenai, who unconsciously shifted back. What about you, Yuhi-san? Is your final attack justified? What was the reason for it? I don't know, Hokage-sama, replied Kurenai, her voice quivering. When I restrained him and tried to interrogate him, I couldn't even look him straight in the eyes. It was frightening to see so much pain and power in his eyes. And when he criticized my skills, I felt like the Kyuubi was taunting me. My mind turned blank and I attacked Naruto, said Kurenai, her eyes shedding tears slowly. Hiruzen rubbed the bridge of his nose in anger and shame. The root of anger against Kyuubi runs too deep in his people, it seems. Naruto had sacrificed and endured since the first day of his life and was still dealing with anger directed at him for Kyuubi. You know that when he said that his ancestors had not thought about this when they created the village, and he felt ashamed being a part of it because of what it had become. It had hurt me a lot, said Hiruzen, his voice so aged and fragile. That I failed his granduncle, his grandfather, his father and even him. I feel so ashamed of myself. His Jounin lowered their head in shame. Never had they seen the professor so helpless. Sighing loudly, Hiruzen gathered his emotions and addressed the gathered Jounins. I cannot ignore the mistake you 3 had committed, said the Hokage to Asuma, Guy and Kurenai. As such, you 3 will apologize to Naruto, and 75% of your mission pay for a month will be given to him. All of you dismissed. Hi, Hokage-sama, saluted the Jounin before they shunshin away. The old Hokage took a big drag through the tobacco pipe as he waited for his next guest. He didn't have to wait long as the door of the room was knocked. Come in, said the Hokage. The door opened, revealing Naruto, wearing high-neck black shirt along with same shade shinobi pants and sandals. He calmly walked to the center of the room before going down on one knee and saluting the old shinobi. You called, Hokage-sama? Said Naruto. Yes, Naruto. Kakashi gave me a report about your spar with him, and I should say I am impressed with the skills you have displayed, said Hiruzen. Your manipulation of Doton and Suiton elements was exceptional. along with your kenjutsu and taijutsu skills. Kakashi also told me about the energy pills you made. What are they actually? Naruto nodded as he took out the same seal and unsealed it, taking out a single dull green pill to show to the Hokage. Each pill has my concentrated chakra, collected in an edible, flavored coating. It has enough chakra to energize and heal an average first shinobi war jounin. Does it have Kyuubi's chakra too? And what do you mean average first shinobi war jounin? Asked the concerned Hokage. No. Kyuubi's chakra is potent to anyone but me. This is just my chakra. Now, even if some think that newer generation surpasses the older, that is not exactly the case, said Naruto. What is the case then? Questioned Hiruzen. It was my assumption that most of the newer generation of ninja have lesser chakra than the previous ones. When I was developing these pills, I generally assumed the amount of chakra Danzoo-sama or you had when you were jounins during the first war, from the skills you displayed in a single battle. Started Naruto. Now, I am a Jinchuriki, so I couldn't prove my assumption using the tablet on myself, so I needed a powerful jounin to test my assumption. Seeing Hokage nod, Naruto continued, so, when Kakashi-san ate the pill, he felt the strain for too much chakra, almost equivalent to opening 5 gates of Hashimen, telling me that he has far lesser chakra than an average jounin of your time. The bar of standards is falling low day by day, Hokage-sama. That if somebody reincarnated the Uchiha Madara today using the second's Edo Tensei, in pure world reincarnation, nobody can defeat him. Wasn't the snake Sannin working with his jutsu? Hiruzen was in deep thought now. If he thought about it, the fourth Hokage was considered so powerful for using the Hiraishin no Jutsu, Flying Thunder God technique, even though the technique was already extensively used by its original creator, the second Hokage, many years before, and he wasn't even known much for it. They were blindly ignoring that they were growing weak. But by the current standards they were strong. That is a very astute observation, Naruto. I will ponder into this concept. This needs some serious brainstorming, said Hiruzen, his eyes widened, thinking about the result of this complication. Umbu, 3 masked ninjas quickly appeared before their leader. Hokage-sama saluted Anbu. Inu, take Tora and Hibi with you and make sure that every grave in Konoha graveyard is safe and sound. I want a detailed report in 5 days. Dismissed. Hi, Hokage-sama, said Anbu before they vanished. This is a serious problem, and it never came to my mind, said Hokage as he closed his eyes and took a deep long drag of tobacco. Looking back at Naruto, who was silently looking back at him, a new question popped into the head of the Hokage. Naruto, what do you think about the Team 7? Give me your conclusions about them, asked Hiruzen. He actually wanted to know about the Uchiha era through the blonde ninja's perspective. Naruto quickly recapped the meetings with Team 7 in his mind to come up with some conclusions. Kakashi is self-confident. Uses tricks to analyze opponents in the beginning of the battle. Excellent in taijutsu, little rough around the edges in kenjutsu, excellent in ninjutsu but chakra levels drop considerably while using Sharingan. Loses focus if comrades are hurt. Death of his teammates is still fresh on his mind. Kiba is impulsive, takes pride in strength, and because of the attitude of his clan, he has probably started considering me as an alpha. Sakura is intelligent but focuses more on impressing the Uchiha rather than doing something productive. May turn into a valuable ninja if her focus is taken away from him, said Naruto, before his attention turned towards the ever-scowling Uchiha. Uchiha is indifferent towards his teammates. Has both a superiority and an inferiority complex. Has potential to become great. His greed for power and rage against Itachi-san will make him go against Konoha. If no proper training is provided, he will run away within a year or two in search of more power, concluded Naruto.